Hey guys, Jay-Sensei here again. This is going to be What If Luffy Went Back in Time Redo. This series is one of the biggest ones on my channel because, well, honestly I didn't finish it and I forgot most of it. So yeah, I had a thumbnail for it, but I never did it. So yeah, now this maybe three videos in one day, plus if I get even more bored, 5. At most 5. But yeah, I have homework to do. Now, this series may not be... Well, I guess this redo may not be bigger than the original, but I hope so. I hope people like it still. So yeah. Now, this one basically, once the tries to leave Wano, Nami is able to get her hands on the time fruit somehow and leave with Wano. Leave Wano with it. Luffy proceeds to become the king of the pirates after beating Blackbeard and giving the straw back to Shanks. Shanks insists Luffy have it. So Luffy keeps it, becomes king of the pirate, known as Straw Hat Luffy. Now, Luffy actually makes his own base, Logtown. And with that, the Marines are actually able to find Luffy on Logtown. And the coordinates are given of Logtown. Now, eventually, the new fleet admiral being Smoker, then Smoker's assistant being Tashigi, and then the strongest admiral being Kobe, and by strongest vice admiral being Helmpo. That's the underrated Marines all become the strongest ones. Now, eventually, after a few years of the Marines getting as strong as possible, they then launch an attack on Logtown. Then Luffy got word of the Marines attacking, and Luffy doesn't know he can't talk down Smoker from this. Even though him and Smoker are not friends, but they could fight. They could be allies if they needed to be. They have a Garp Roger relationship. It's just Garp, I assume, was a little more free. But yeah, a little more free than Smoker. But Luffy calls in all his allies, and a full-out war breaks out. With this war breaking out, Luffy proceeds to fight, using Gum Gum to its full ability, and he awakens Gum Gum with Blackbeard, so he's using Awakened Gum Gum versus an Awakened Smoke Fruit. Eventually, he punches Smoker out, and then he fights Tashigi. He fights Tashigi, Kobe, and a few other miscellaneous Marines like Helmpo. He fights them. Eventually, Luffy ends up hitting Kobe right in the chest, breaking all his ribs, and killing him. With Luffy realizing he killed Kobe, Luffy ends up actually being depressed throughout the rest of the war, not finding his full ability, being distracted. With that, Luffy actually gets pretty bad cuts and scrapes, and eventually starts to realize that Luffy did kill Kobe. They chop his body, saying, "Well, Kobe's dead. He's done." So Luffy's just in a whole bad mood now. He's gonna be distracted this whole war. We have to at least protect him in some form. Luffy and doing that, helping Luffy, and eventually they're able to win the war. But Luffy's wounds are pretty severe. But a few Marines who are actually able to call in help called in at least 5 or more buster calls. These many Marine ships surround the island. They've been firing down on the struts as much as possible, and Luffy tries to protect them, but eventually Luffy's hit right in the head by one of the cannonballs, and Luffy's not knocked the ground, but the island seems to be bombarded with these 5 buster calls combined, which the island is brought to the ground, and Luffy is launched in the water. But Nami actually takes a bite, Delphi, as she's in the water, and before she sinks, she grabs on Luffy, and the last move, send Luffy himself back in time. With Luffy sent back, his mind is mainly. Nami doesn't have enough power to send his body back in time, but he's able to send his consciousness. With that part sent back in time, Luffy is sent back to his body, and Luffy is sent back to when he's 7 years old. Luffy gets this shot right into his body, and it's around a month before he meets Shanks. Now Luffy's able to see Nami do this, and is immediately aware of what happened. So with this, Luffy's kind of in shock, but a little sad that, he's back in time. Luffy does wish he at least had his body, but he realized it would cause a lot more trouble than it's worth. So yeah. Now Luffy proceeds to at least just train his ass off as much as possible until he meets Shanks. Shanks get along a lot more. And when Higuma actually starts about to just start talking trash, Luffy actually did train his body a lot as he punched Higuma in the jaw, and Luffy has the strength of a basic grown man. So he actually knocks Higuma to the ground, and Higuma had to admit, well, Luffy's powerful. The pirates saw how strong Luffy was, and they're pretty proud of him. Some more bandits start loading up their guns towards Luffy, and The Usopp ends up pulling out a 6-shooter that he had somehow gotten from one of the Marine ships and shoots all the guns out of their hands. Usopp chuckles, saying, "Alright then, let's take this outside. It'd be more fun." Shanks agrees to this because they pointed a gun at a 7-year-old kid. So they all go outside, and the bandits are wiped out pretty easily. But now Rated Pirates are kind of happy with themselves, and Shanks gives Luffy a straw hat, and Luffy does eat the double fruit, but when he eats it, he plays dumb, like, "Oh, I didn't know what it was." Now, Luffy's playing a lot more innocent, able to trick Shanks. Shanks says, "Luffy, just be careful what you eat and ask me before you eat my stuff." He tells Luffy what it does, and quickly Luffy will get a grasp on it, and Shanks is amazed by this. He says, "What? Well, you shouldn't be worried about your abilities then, I guess. You seem pretty good with them." Luffy not saying, "Yeah, it's pretty easy to use." He then shoots a gun pistol, and says, "Wow, man, my arm can go pretty far." No, it can't. Luffy just says it can. Luffy knows it's a very short distance compared to his adult self, who could shoot his arm for miles. And Luffy's a decently intelligent guy. Like, at least I'd say like pre-time skip Nami. That's how smart adult Luffy is. Well, no, actually, I give adult Luffy a lot more credit than that. I'd say at least pre-time skip Robin. I assume this Luffy at least knows a lot more about poneglyphs, a lot more about everything. But he still plays dumb, and he plays dumb, but he's a lot smarter than he seems. People are surprised by that, because Luffy became one of the smartest ones in the crew pretty fast. But yeah, so Luffy has that knowledge of the Void Century and everything, of everything in the world, basically. And Luffy currently can have the knowledge of the King of Pirates, it's just, he's not strong, yet. Eventually, when Higuma will actually try to kidnap Luffy and bring him out to sea, Luffy beats the hell out of Higuma and the rest of the bandits. So when Shanks' crew comes back, they see Makino cleaning the bar, and they ask where Luffy is, and Luffy then says, "Beating up the bandits." Shanks says, "Oh, that kid." And then sees Luffy using the Gum pistol on Higuma multiple times, until Higuma yells, "I surrender." When Higuma says he surrenders, Luffy backs off. Now, eventually, Shanks leaves, Luffy introduced to Ace. Luffy, knowing Ace can spit on him, will dodge, and Luffy laughs at Ace, and knows what to do to get Ace on his good side in a few seconds. With that, Luffy comes and insults Ace, and these are pretty damn good ones. And it's nothing like Ace can be pissed off about, it's something that Ace can respect, because they're so well thought out, but good and childish. Ace bursts out laughing, saying, "God damn, those were funny and good." And goes down, saying, "I am focused the Ace." He holds his hand out, saying, "You monkey Luffy." And Garber shocked this, Luffy got along with Ace so fast. Like, he's like, "Luffy, have you met Ace before or something?" He says, "No, I can just blend into people's personalities pretty damn easy. And Ace, I can read him like a book." Already Luffy has multiple years of experience with his brother. After the next 2 weeks, Luffy hangs out with Ace and Sabo, and with the whole Bluejam thing, Luffy advises him how to get through Bluejam's weak points. And Luffy's very goofy and wild, but he's smart. Sabo has to admit that. So with that, Luffy's able to actually guide them to rob Bluejam dry, or bleed him dry. And eventually, they have all this wealth and everything. And with that, Bluejam's crew knows who did it, but Bluejam's so broke that they can't even afford bullets or anything else. With that, Bluejam, she approaches the ASL trio, bowing down, saying, "Please, we need money, we can't afford anything. We're starving, we're thirsty." Luffy says, "How about this? You can give up being pirates, and I'll return a quarter of the stuff we stole. A quarter. Understand that?" Bluejam is crying, saying, "No, we need it all back. We're going broke, and we can't give up piracy. That's all we have left." Luffy says, "I would give it up, but I don't think I will." Bluejam immediately pulls out a sword, trying to stab Luffy, but you remember how Draken had easily caught Osanai's arm and kneed him in the gut? Luffy just does that to Bluejam, but Luffy, being very stretchy, he's able to just do it a lot more efficiently and weirdly. He does that, Bluejam throws up and passes out. Ochami would push Luffy and bows, saying, "We'll accept your deal." So Luffy pays back a quarter of what Ochami wanted. In return, Ochami dropped all this stuff, all his guns, knives, all the deadly stuff in front of Luffy. Luffy tied it up. Luffy tells Ace and Sabo about both the nobles. Sabo did not leak, but he did confirm he's a noble. And Luffy goes over what the nobles would probably do. He goes over a bunch of possibilities, saying, "Well, Bluejam's crew was already a scourge on it, and now we're probably going to leave, but he may not be that may not be the final straw. Plus, I got a word from one of the people in your terminal. A social dragon's coming soon, so they actually may decide to burn us all away or kill us somehow. But I don't think they'll allow a social dragon to come here with us alive. That Luffy says, so we need to fix up your terminal before the social dragon arrives. So we still have a fun place to hang out with and play. So with that, we need to have a fun place to hang out and play it. So Luffy makes an announcement to all the members of your terminal, and when they hear that, a lot of people that do know how nobles act or just hate them would actually think this is in their book. Nagari, being gathering some stuff for a ship, we point to him saying, "Now you're good shipwright, and I assume you at least somewhat build. Will help us, please. I beg you. I'll even pay you or give you materials. I'll pay all of you a decent amount, more than what you have. And if you find any valuables, put them in a pile, and I'll divide them among you once they're cleaned, which will increase their value." Now, Luffy, by no means is a businessman. He just doesn't want the Great Terminal Fire to happen. And our boy Dragon is watching this from a distance. He's proud to see what Luffy can do. All he's trying to do right now is not like, oh, I'm going to improve your terminal because it'd be good. No, he just doesn't want a Great Terminal Fire and redo what happened to Dada and Ace because he's still nervous about that day and thinks of what if Ace died. So he told the bandits about it, and the bandits like, oh, damn, the fire may actually spread to us. First off, the Dada was like, that doesn't make sense for your terminal. And Manga and Naga were like, Dada, your terminal's pretty damn close to the forest. The fire may spread to here, so we should help. Bandits agree, and their terminal's beginning to be fixed up. The king hears about this and is like, oh, well, they're doing our job for us. They're fixing it up so we don't have to burn it down. It saves us a lot of money, possible lives, and such a dragon may be pleased that we're able to build up a whole city from trash, or clean up a whole area of trash pretty fast. Now a lot of people in your terminal like, what should we do? Throw it in the ocean or something? He says, no, put it in a pile and we're going to clean it and then build it in houses. Now Luffy does actually recommend chopping down a few trees, not a lot, but a few, the biggest ones there. They do so, and Nagari advised that Luffy's a pretty good building instructor. That's how he knows this. Luffy just has a few tips from Frankie. That's really it. Luffy just, common sense, I guess. Or at least common sense for me. King, because he's like, they're doing so much job for us. I'll be a little generous. And he throws in a few builders and a few bucks. With this, the Great Terminal is being built up pretty fast. And eventually, when it's fully built up, they're able to actually... Well, first the builders leave. They actually cover up all, like, the money and stuff. And they're not allowed to talk about it in front of people from the Great Terminal. Not Great Terminal, from Gold Kingdom. They're not allowed to talk about it because they didn't take it from us. The bubbles are hidden. And then they clean it all off. And they get the stuff divided among them. Now with that, they should request that certain, like, oh yeah, we need, like, people, or, like, praise stuff, or, like, confirm things, like people that are able to confirm goodies are real, like gold, make sure it's real gold, or silver, valuable pearl necklaces, that kind of stuff. Eventually, people come down, and the fairest ones come down, like the more humble ones, and the nicer ones. They will confirm all the wealth is real, and able to give an exact amount of money. Luffy in total, plus just trash that was cleaned, they have around 1 billion berries sitting in front of them. That Luffy divides it among them, and they're able to actually increase their trade by actually just buying from the Great Terminal from the Gold Kingdom, and building it to a proper city. This takes around 3 months, but it's done. Bandits got most of it, so did Luffy and Sabo, but they got it. They gave enough to the Grey City now, which can help them, and they gave a quarter of it out to... In total, they get 1 billion berries. They give a quarter of it away, which I think that'd be like $99 million in US dollars. So $99 million in total, around $99 million at least if I round up enough. So I'm gonna go with $99 million, give a quarter of it. That'd be around 6.75 million given to the Great Terminal, or now Grey City. So that's around I'll give like think about this. 9 million to 3. Or that'd be around... If he gives away around 2.15 million to the Great Terminal, which leaves Luffy, I think, probably around 6.75 maybe. And then Luffy gives half of that away to the bandits, so around 375, keeping, for him, Nagari, Ace, and Sabo, around 350. 3,500,000. So yeah. So with that, Great Terminal's actually built up a proper city, plus they get materials and it's better trading. So that leaves two trading cities, or two city to trade on Goa Island, or Dawn Island, which does actually allow the kingdom to prosper a lot. And people in your terminal no longer live like, well, homeless people, because their clothes were ripped up, raggedy, and finding anything that looked like it had value, keeping it. And Bluejam's crew was kind of shocked that they helped turn this into such a good place so fast. And Nagari actually offered to train Ace, Sabo, and Luffy, not to fix a ship, but for helping their terminal. And plus, they helped build a ship alongside like building up Great City. So yeah, your ship is built already. So Nagari trains Ace, Sabo, and Luffy. Now Luffy tends to develop some more like moves. He already had Gum Pistol and Gum Battle Axe down, so he learns like Gum Gatling, Gum Bazooka, that kind of stuff. Now eventually he does learn like his basic karate, because I'm pretty sure Luffy's main martial art is karate. So yeah, or karate. But yeah, it doesn't matter. So Luffy will learn his karate again, and then get some more Gamu no techniques. So one time Sabo would actually die, he doesn't. Because the dragon comes by, and as she's shocked to see that the rumored trash pile of Great Terminal is now a city. So she talks to the king about this, and the king says, "Oh yeah, some kids transformed it, and we tried to let them do the job for us, and they did pretty good. So we helped them a bit." The Special Dragon was okay with this and said, "All right then, well, good job. Now, I actually may recommend your kingdom for revelry." The Special Dragon leaves a few days later, and Dragon can't help but watch as his son and his brothers were able to turn a trash pile into a liberated city with nothing to do with Goa. So yeah, pretty impressive. And Luffy did feel Dragon watching, just felt his presence. Like, he remembered the day on Logtown, and remembers that presence. He feels it on Goa Kingdom, and realized Dragon was there. So he feels presence, and would follow it to where it feels the strongest. The Dragon was watching him, and Luffy feels it. Luffy goes to where he feels it the most. Dragon tries to leave, but suddenly something just wraps around Dragon and pulls him back. So as Dragon realizes what it was a child's hand. He sees Luffy. Luffy looks at him, saying, Damn, you're pretty big." Dragon says, You know who you just grabbed?" He says, "I'm guessing my dad, since I felt you watching me, and I'm not really friends with any other adults besides my grandfather. So I'm betting you're either a Marine or you're my dad. One of the two." Dragon doesn't want to be associated with the Marine, but doesn't want Luffy to know his dad is around. But no other option, says, "You got me. I'm your dad." Luffy then says, "Well, can we at least have a small conversation, since you seem to be watching me for the last few months? I assume you have so much free time on your hands, so can you lie to me by saying you have to go? It won't work." Luffy sits down in front of the Dragon, and Dragon being taught a lie, or possible lie, sits down right next to Luffy, saying, "All right then, let's talk." Luffy and Dragon begin talking for a bit, and Dragon can help but realize he and Luffy are kind of similar. No, they're not. Luffy just knows how to blend personalities pretty damn well. He's a social chameleon. He got adapted to Dragon pretty fast, and when Dragon got along pretty well, just Luffy's more wild about his ideals. But Luffy does say his pure dream is to let everyone be as free as they can be. No rules, no law, no regulation. Just a complete world with order, or with built-in order, but still lots of freedom. A point where crime is eradicated, and there's no need of law enforcement. Dragon doesn't know this dream is nearly impossible, but hopes that Luffy can actually accomplish this for at least himself. And Luffy does say he wants to be be a pirate, because a pirate inspires him, and he'll try it, saying red-haired Trinks gave me this. Puts that back on, and Luffy and Dragon keep getting along. Dragon, when he's about to leave, would say, "Hey, Luffy, well, I've accomplished quite a fortune, and it seems you have yourself. So, in case that fortune runs out, I'll be funding Fuchsia Village and the Great Terminal with money. How's that sound?" Luffy then says, "Just send me like a personal crow or something." And I'm pretty sure I saw something about like a guy named Kedesu in your group, and he has a crow thing. So have one of his crows send me something, or give me like a few letters, or grant murder crows, give me money. Dragon laughs, saying, "All right then. Well, have a nice day." Dragon leaves, and yeah. So in regards to when like Ace and Sabo are set sail, Luffy told Sabo about the revolution and encouraged Sabo to join them because that's more of Sabo's ideals. Sabo agreed to this, and Sabo would leave to go towards the. Luffy doesn't remember where Baltigo is originally. He remembers where it is. He tells Sabo, "Oh yeah, my dad's the leader of the revolutionaries, and his island's around here. Go there." So yeah, he tells Sabo to at least where one of the meeting points could be. And when Karasu comes to deliver money, Luffy does tell him, "Oh yeah, my brother Sabo set sail a few days ago. Try to find him. He's heading towards Baltigo." So Karasu goes to find Sabo, and when he does find Sabo, he brings Sabo to Baltigo himself. Yeah, so Dragon immediately knows who Sabo is, as everyone's like, Karasu, who the hell did you bring here this time? Or who did you bring here? He's kind of weak. He looks weird. And Dragon's like, and don't worry, he's my son's brother. He's my somewhat adopted son. So yeah. And Dragon, to be around Luffy, could tell he's a social chameleon, and Luffy's got bonded with his personality. So Dragon kind of did the same thing with Luffy's personality, and Dragon's a little more wild. Like a more mature Luffy, is kind of how Dragon is. So, yeah. And Dragon's extra charisma, more people join the revolutionaries. So they're kind of cool together. And Dragon's a little more bold now as well, because Luffy's personality rubbed off on him a bit. So with that, he's a more like Riichi with Nico Robin, and actually did encourage her to be a double agent for the warlords. So she joined up Crocodile a little bit earlier as a double agent for the world government. Not world government, I mean for the revolutionaries. So yeah. So yeah, Nico Robin's a double agent, and Dragon does say if you can destroy Luffy, you abandon your mission and just join him. Someone needs someone like you. So Robin now has something to keep an eye out for. Monkey D. Luffy and the world government. So yeah, let's just set that up for Robin. She already has to run the Shark Crew, and she's a double agent. Now, eventually Luffy's already a billionaire because Karasu keeps delivering him money. Luffy did it as a joke, but Karasu actually did it, so Luffy keeps getting the funds. And Dragon, due to conquering some cities, like, oh yeah, use a small tax to pay just for at least like for us to liberate other countries from the world government. It's not a big tax, like just at least let's listen a quarter of all your profits that you earn this year. So yeah, with that, people actually are okay with giving this, and it's not a lot. So we get that, and Dragon just forward it towards Luffy, or actually helping liberate cities. Luffy's already somewhat of a billionaire, as some money he did save, and Nagi did go out to sea, but he came back a bit later, like, oh yeah, I'm cool, I'm just doing me. Ace still ate the Marineford, but they're experiencing how devil fruits work, and Luffy explaining it to Ace, kind of like a premonition that Ace may get a devil fruit at some point in the future. He does still tell Ace like how he learned to use devil fruit, and Ace like, oh cool. He was doing it the same way that Luffy learned how, and Ace is able to do it. So Ace is able to use devil fruit pretty damn early on. When he did fight Whitebeard, he was already further ahead in his power than he was. Ace is around the equivalent of Marineford Ace at full power. So when he fights Whitebeard had to admit, Ace was pretty damn strong. Now about how Luffy knows about the other Straw Hats. So, Luffy actually ended up doing something, as since he had a lot of money, he sent a decent amount to a certain location, Nami's location. So Nami needed 100 million berries, Luffy sent her exactly 100 million. Luffy had said that Luffy made up a lie saying he was someone let's say he's a Marine, and he said that, oh yeah, I was a Marine under Nezumi, I'd quit a while ago, but I'd heard that you need 100 million berries, here you go. Now, he does recommend that some villagers be armed with guns from distance and all around. If he does refuse the money, fire down. Nami did to the villagers about this, and the villagers are all shocked that a Marine would side with them and help. And they don't understand that Arlong has Marine under his payroll, so they're like, oh yeah, he probably had to do this in secret. So Nami meets Arlong with 100 million berries, and Arlong wants to refuse it, saying, no, I'm not going to free the town. A few bullets are shot right into Arlong's body, and the fishermen around them are all being shot down. Hachi, she retreats. Pretty sure Hachi would have she retreat to get common sense. Shu and Kurubi are immediately killed. Arlong is put to his knees. And the pseudo-revolution worked. Luffy indirectly freed Kokoshi Village. Eventually, once Nami had realized this plan worked, she began thanking the Marines. But Nami, she got older, by the way. She's able to realize this was not a Marine, because his handwriting was a little too childish, and Nezumi had no idea what happened to Arlong. And no Marines of his recently quit, so she could tell that it was someone from outside, and could tell it wasn't a Marine. So, he's a little confused now. Worried, but, happy, but also worried. Anyway, Chopper. Luffy actually was able to send Chopper something, and actually the recipe for Rumble Balls. Luffy already knew the time that Chopper was around Dr. Hearlook, so no one told Chopper, mail this to Chopper. Chopper was able to get it, and actually realized value of this, told Dr. Hearlook. So instead of actually Chopper looking out for the other stuff, Dr. Hearlook and Dr. Green helped Chopper with his Rumble Balls. He did have Monster Point, and they actually helped him control that first. They were able to make a tranquilizer for Chopper first, so yeah. So Chopper learned a little more medical knowledge, and he did find the mushroom, realized it was poisonous, and didn't grab it, and found the one Dr. Hearlook actually needed, and gave it to him. So, yeah. Dr. Hearlook lived, Chopper's controlled Monster Point already, and when he does encounter Dalton and stuff, Tim and Dalton get along pretty well, because Chopper's a stronger zone. But Dalton did tell Chopper he could probably beat Wapol on his own, and Chopper will do so. As he does beat Wapol, Dalton helping him. Chess, Kodomonimo, and Wapol are down for the count, and Chopper liberated the country. Chopper actually being called a national hero, and when everyone does say, oh yeah, the Yeti, he beat Wapol. And everyone got the news that Chopper usually instant reindeer with powers he couldn't control. So they all feel bad. Chopper's reindeer group Chopper kind of made them as pets in some way, but actually treated them way better than pets, way better than humans treat anything. So yeah, they're fed pretty well. Chopper's parents are still around, but they're reindeer parents. So yeah. And a few tricks to teach them how to somewhat speak. And with Zoro got a warning about Queen and stairs. From Luffy, and some decent techniques about three-sword style. So Zoro already learned three-sword style, and actually be very aware of Queen and stairs, saying, beware, Luffy can afford the letter saying, oh yeah, these stairs are pretty messed up, around a week before Queen dies. When Queen does go to the stairs, Zoro actually saved her, and used his body as a shield so she didn't kill herself on the stairs. Zoro did have a few broken bones. Queen is saved, and she lives. Nico Robin, Luffy didn't need to do a thing to her, because well, Katasu and Luffy did go along, and he told Luffy about Nico Robin, so that helps. Sanji, Luffy actually does tell Sanji some training regimens, but mainly give him some tips on observation hockey, seeing him as a better observation user at times than him. Sanji gets tips on observation hockey, and he's been learning how to use it alongside Zeph. Now, next fisherman. Luffy couldn't get a letter to Jinbei yet, so Luffy's not that high up in the world yet, but he does actually care to suit to at least give a letter to Hack, and Hack finds a way to get it down to Jinbei. So yeah, so Luffy does that when he's 12. Luffy's letters came out a while ago, so just telling you that now. So now, next Straw Hat would be Frankie, and to tell Frankie about CP9 and who they are. And the description of them, so Frankie actually on guard and tells Iceberg about this. And Luffy's actually able to improve his handwriting, and Luffy is able to forge a government signature. And it says anonymous, but able to make it look like a government letter. So Iceberg's aware of these and tells Guy Allah and the bar that Blueno may run in the future or be a bartender for. So everyone's on edge about CP9, but knows they're not there yet. And then, who else? Brook. Luffy's able to convince Karasu to send out at least one crow to Brook, where gets the letter saying avoid opening his barrel in the sea, and try to steer your ship away from this area, and gives Brook directions to get out of the Florian Triangle, but towards Ruskaina. So Brook gets that letter, and he does so perfectly. He did take some ship repairs first, so Brook forgot about the whole don't open the barrel thing, but focus on ship repairs, he avoids the barrel. So, either way it works. If you shield the ship out of Ruskaina, out of the Florian Triangle, gets to Ruskaina, it would beat the animals pretty damn easily with his Notch Slash, because that's always off guard, and Brook begins to training there. So yeah, he helped Brook out of the Florian Triangle, and Brook out of his depression by getting stronger. And then Usopp, he has tell Usopp it will make his letters seem like Yasop, and he does tell he has Usopp some tricks and some handyman tips as well, just gives Usopp tips about how to be a handyman, a better sniper, everything. And he does tell Usopp how to build Kabuto, saying, oh yeah, this might help you if you like using slingshots, because he's that kid that like to use them. Well, he does say, I don't think you like to use guns yet, or you're not old enough to use guns, so he's trying to use a slingshot, and recommends Usopp build Kabuto once he's big enough. So yeah. And Luffy will actually make Usopp pretty sad later when he does say, oh yeah, that was just me. But everyone will know what Luffy did. They'll be sad, or either very thankful. Usopp's probably going to be the only one that was sad, so yeah. But now, next person, who would it be? I'm pretty sure that's all, actually. So, yeah. Now, eventually, Luffy continues life with training. Now, Luffy doesn't get hockey himself because he wants to enjoy the East Blue adventure. And Sanji is on the verge of unlocking observation hockey, but Luffy does have some decent understanding of observation for such a frail body. Luffy does make himself a little bit bigger because he doesn't intimidate anyone. So he's able to get himself a little more muscle mass and a decent better height. So Luffy, by the time he's about to set sail, he's already around 5'8", so same height as Zoro. He's around the same size as Zoro. Not muscle mass wise, but he's still decently buff. Luffy has somewhat of an intimidation factor. Now, when Luffy gets on board of a ship, he's able to sail towards Alvida's crew. And when he sees Alvida, he immediately beats down all Alvida's crew because he avoided the whirlpool. He's able to navigate a ship decently. Beats up Alvida and the crew, and does Kobe, who's going right to Logtown. She does Kobe stick with him to Logtown. But when he gets to Shelltown, Luffy says he's not there first. Keep low. Just stay very low, because you can't be seen with me. Kobe agrees to this, and they get to Shelltown. Luffy beats down multiple pirates. Not pirates, I mean multiple marines. Beats up Morgan. Zoro's not tied up, actually, but Zoro is not there yet. Zoro's actually hanging out with Johnny Yosuke, giving them some tips, and Koshiro is with them. Luffy can tell that Zoro is not here, because Zoro's not tied up. Let's assume Zoro is on Shimosuke Village, or at Shimosuke Village. So, once Luffy ends up beating up all the marines there, tells Hamapo, you can be better than your father, you just need to abandon that attitude. And Luffy's able to trick Hamapo into thinking that he's like his father, so abandons the attitude. Hamapo abandons the attitude, and a lot more post-time skip Hamapo. And Luffy recommends the way to sail to Logtown, and Hamapo goes with Kobe. Get to Logtown, and yeah. Luffy's able to steal a ship from some marines, actually calling the marines on the marines. He sails a small dinghy, sails all the way to Shimosuke Village, and does say he's here for Pirate Hunter Zoro. Now, immediately Queen would ask who Luffy is, but Luffy says, let him speak to Zoro, and Zoro will know what he's talking about. Now, Zoro's a little confused when Luffy is. Luffy even says, how did you enjoy the letter about the stairs? It would be frozen. How do you know about that letter? It's from a company. He says, no, I sent that to you. It was a little confusing. How do you know about them? How do you know about everything? And Luffy then actually talks to Zoro in private. So Luffy brings Zoro in private, and Luffy is talking to Zoro. Queen and Koshiro eavesdrop to Johnny Yosuke. Tells her about their whole adventure, all the way from beginning East Blue to start out Shelltown, all the way to him becoming king of the pirates. Oh, this actually all makes sense the way Luffy explaining it, because there's no way he would know about Queen on the stairs if Zoro did not tell him. And Luffy reveals how Zoro lost Queen. Zoro immediately tells Luffy that's all very believable, it's shocking. Koshiro immediately barges in saying, how can you prove devil fruits exist? Tell me, how? And Luffy shoots his arm up in the air, being treachy, saying, here's how he proved it. And talks about the Yonko, their devil fruits, and Koshiro's like, alright then, well, I'm proven wrong. Alright then, well, Zoro, we tried to restart the adventure, but as a strong swordsman already. They would nod, and Luffy points to Johnny Yosuke and Queen, saying, if you guys want to, you can come with me. Koshiro says, I'm glad you didn't offer me, because I probably would have tried to cut you down. So Luffy knows not to offer Koshiro or something. But Luffy says, nah, just Queen, Johnny, Yosuke, or Zoro. Johnny and Yosuke agree. Queen says, nah, she's going to take after her father and running the dojo. He pulls out Wano Ichimonji, handing it to Zoro in the sheath, saying you'll need this to conquer the seas. Zoro takes it, giving Queen his sword, which is unnamed. Queen takes it, and now Luffy says, oh yeah, Zoro, I'm gonna make sure you get your hands on 2 blades. And mentions these blades, saying, oh yeah, Kitetsu III and Enma. But so far, the only rare blades he knows of are Kitetsu and Yuashiri that are in the east. Zoro just laughs, saying, alright then, how about this? I'll keep one of my original swords, and I'll somehow get Yuashiri to Kuina. She'd love that sword. Kuina didn't hear this, but they're kind of walking to the ship, and Luffy agrees to this. He'll jump onto the boat, and they sail away. Well, Luffy's clothing is more similar to how he is, in this picture. Like the cape, the shirt, everything. All it's missing is the scar on his chest and the whole beard. Luffy doesn't have those yet because he's 17 and baby face. But yeah, so next stop, Kokugashi Village. When we get there, it's Arlong free. Nami actually learned how to use her staff a lot better because she does say that she needs to protect her village from people like Arlong. She keeps learning how to use her skills. Belmir helping her because she's not Belmir would be dead regardless. I'm sorry about that. So Nami's learning how to protect her staff skills, to protect Kokugashi Village, Luffy docks. Like they could have like a small Jolly Roger and Luffy come out with guns, but it'd be for us to see Nami. Nami comes to the dock, almost about to hit Luffy, but he just walks the staff saying, "Hey, I give you 100 million berries. It's not a way to treat me." I mean, he throws saying, "Wait, you give me that money?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm the one to send you the letter, and I'm pretty sure with how smart you are, you can tell that wasn't a Marine. Left my handwriting was super childish." I mean, he says, "Did you have that money? How much money? You're younger than me." He says, "I did a lot of good things and got a lot of money, but everything's time you repay your debt to me. So how about this? Go to sea with me. You can make all the maps you want. You can become a really strong pirate and have a lot of money." Nami still being money hungry, she agrees to this immediately because of a lot of money. And Luffy being as smart as he is, she assumes that Luffy can get money in a legal way if they fail at being pirates. But now Luffy takes Nami aside and tells her about everything, like, "Oh yeah, in the future, me and you end up like being you're already my crewmate, but I saved you from Arlong, and you join my career for that officially." And tells her about the adventure all the way from Arlong Park all the way to when Luffy gets sent back in time. Nami's kind of shocked, but Luffy's able to back it up. He's already somehow knew she needed 100 million berries, and he somehow knew about Nezumi and Arlong. So, with another explanation from that, she agrees to join Luffy, and he already proves himself to exist by being stretchy. And Zoro like, "Oh yeah, I got a letter too." So yeah, and he tells them both about all the other crewmates they'll get, and about Dragon being his dad. Nami's kind of shocked, but he somehow got a lot of money. So yeah. Now the next stop being Star Village. When I get there, they see Star Village. Actually, you see when Kuro originally docks, Luffy sees it. It's kind of a mess, like tons of rubble everywhere. Luffy walks up the island, walks up to the main village, and you see Usopp's 3 kids at the gate with slingshots ready. And Luffy can see Kuro's not the gate guard queen as mentioned. Luffy immediately put together, Usopp already beat Kuro. Usopp with the training was able to see through people's emotions a bit, and that he's able to see Kuro had bad intentions, and is able to beat him. Luffy requests to see Usopp. Usopp walks out of his house with his hair looking crazy, and so Luffy can already tell Usopp looks a lot how he does post time skip. It's just minus the beard and the star, like not the stars, but the. I guess the only thing that's missing is the beard and the whole stuff he got from the islands. If they're not. Oh yeah, pop greens. He has no pop greens and no beard. So yeah, beard, not beer. But Usopp's like questioning who Luffy is. Luffy says, "So sorry to break it to you, but that letter didn't come from your dad." So Luffy was talking about saying, "What do you mean it didn't come from my dad? And how'd you know about that?" He says, "Well, really, we don't want to hurt Usopp's feelings too bad, I would say. In reality, when I was younger, I met your dad and I wanted to be a pirate. So I met your dad's crew, meaning met your dad's crew that he's on, not just your dad. But he did say that he wanted me to bring you along out to sea to meet him. It took a while because he's so far in the world, but I sent you that letter to at least set this up. And, well, that's stronger, right? And you beat that bastard Kuro." That's what it says. You know too much. How? And Jordan says, Jordan says, "Alright, I'm not sending to the story. Usopp, meet Future Man. I don't care. The story's too long. I hate it. Usopp, meet Future Man. We're surprised by it too, but he also sent us letters." Jordan says, "Yeah, Future Man, me." Someone says, how can you prove you're from the future?" It was over everything Usopp dreamed of and his dark secrets, and his giant crush on Kaya, and how he tells her stories. And he tells Usopp what would have happened in the original time. Usopp's like, "Alright then, Milk, you told me my secrets, and you knew my dreams, so that works." So, now Usopp tells Kaya he's about to leave, and to Luffy's shock, Usopp kisses Kaya. Kaya kisses back, and Luffy asks Usopp what's up with that. And says, "What? I'm not dating Kaya in your original time?" He says, "You're dating her and have a kid with her when we're adults. Me and you're both 17 right now. What the hell happened?" He says, "Oh, when Kuro was a bad guy, me and Kaya kind of got busy, and he did the whole finger hole and finger hole and index finger motion." Oh, Luffy says, "All right then, you lucky bastard, let's go." They get on the ship, and Mary, or she already gave Usopp the Mary. Someone got on the small dinghy. Usopp's like, no, we have a ship ready. Usopp jumps with Mary, saying, "Meet the Going Mary, my ship." And says, "If it's your ship, I'm not getting on. If it's your ship, I'm not getting on. I'm the damn captain." He says, "All right then, find me for title captain." He says, "All right then, get up." So hops on land, saying, "Get ready." Luffy says, "By the way, I know every single weakness of Kabuto." When he froze, Luffy yells, "Come with no pistol!" hitting Usopp right in the face, knocking him out. Luffy says, "See? You're done." Usopp bleeding from his nose and mouth, and almost unconscious. Usopp just says, "You're captain." Luffy drags Usopp on board, taking his small sling Jolly Roger off the ship, because he had already painted it and folded it up. Just couldn't set it up on the small dinghy. Now he puts it on Mary, and Luffy waves wide to Mary and Kaya. Mary is the butler that built the Going Mary. But yeah, Luffy sails away with Usopp, who's just getting his face treated up by Nami, like she's getting all the blood off of it and stuff. And they will pop his nose back in place. John Yosuke are the giant fish, not giant, but they're fishermen. And they're kind of like the temporary cooks. But Luffy did take his billion-berry fortune with him, so yeah. And Nami loves it, so. Now, next stop, Logtown. Kobe and Homopo got in training. Kobe is a little more muscular, got better diet and everything. And Luffy actually does tell, no, I don't want to say Logtown. Bratier. I was like, what am I forgetting? I'm like, oh yeah, Bratier. Well, they get to the Bratier, and when they get there, they do see, like, also Luffy had to sail from Mosaki Village, so he was a little bit late for everything. So by the time he gets there, he sees that, well, they're in the middle of a fight with Don Krieg pirate crew. You guys are wondering about Orangetown? Well, it's not really a fight. They go there and they beat Buggy to pieces pretty easily. So Buggy still sent flying, meets Alvida, and that whole thing goes. The whole thing ends a lot faster than it did in Canon. That Canon took less than 2 hours, or no, probably more, but Luffy did it in the space of an hour. Now, Luffy gets to see the Don Krieg ship, and everyone hears a loud yell. "Gomu Gomu no battle axe." And they see Mihawk about to arrive, but suddenly Luffy just smacks Don Krieg's ship in half, or kicks it in half. He immediately grabs both halves of the ship and slams one side of it into Don Krieg, sending him flying across the east. Then with Pearl, he smacks Pearl with the other half of it, sending Pearl flying. Luffy then slams the other half, both halves down deep in the ocean, and they get crushed by ocean pressure before Luffy's arms come back up to surface. Luffy lands, and most of Don Krieg's crew tries to run out Luffy, but Zoro then just yells "Onigiri," and the giant power of Zoro emits cuts them all down. He looks forward right next to Luffy, and full bodies Marines, those guys left on their own. But yeah, Nami arrives, bringing down some of them, and then we see Gin versus Sanji. Sanji's easily handling Gin like he's nothing. Then eventually Sanji just sees the opening and quickly punches Gin right in the nose, knocking him out. Now he's like, "When the hell did he use fists?" Walks up Sanji goes for a kick. Sanji is dodged, and Luffy says, "Hey, it's not the way to treat the guy that taught you proficient hockey." And Zeph and Sanji are like, "Oh, hell, he taught us that then." Because they're like, "Oh, no one knows the letter," and he says he taught us it, so he must have sent the letter. Now, Luffy being a little bit bigger, Nami's the only one to see that Luffy's younger than her. She's the only one to see it because she's smart. But Sanji can tell that Luffy's younger than him, so yeah. So Zoro then says, "Luffy, can I get a short explanation then?" Luffy nods, saying, "Alright, go ahead, Zoro." Zoro brings out Zeph and Sanji only, saying, "Alright, you two, meet Future Man," pointing at Luffy, saying, "We were originally on his crew in its original time, but he got sent back because there's a giant war and he almost died, and now that he's back here, he sends all letters. Send me a letter to save my best friend's life, and her letter to save her village, and him a letter to be strong, and I'm assuming he sent you two a letter to learn something called hockey." Zoro gives the very short explanation of how Luffy originally met Sanji, and yeah. Sanji and Zeph are Luffy just throws them the devil fruit, and they're able to see that it's true. Luffy already saw him stretch his arms to beat Don Krieg up. But suddenly, Mihawk goes up, "Excuse me." He looks at Zoro, saying, You're a strong swordsman. Fight me." Zoro then says, "Oh, fuck." He says, "You're gonna lose, but You just have medical equipment. They bring out all the medical equipment they have. Luffy already brought his own, because he doesn't have Mihawk and Zoro starting to fight. So he brought a lot of stuff for him, but now Zoro still fights Mihawk, doesn't lose as badly, but when Zoro doesn't get stabbed by Mihawk, he's actually able to block it using two fingers to catch it, and he's able to fling it out of Mihawk's hand. But with the Zoro being open now, Mihawk took advantage of it, pulling out Yoru, and slashing Zoro down. Before the blade went fully down, Zoro used Wano, saying, "May this sword give me luck," and sneakily stabbed Mihawk through the side. Only tip of the blade got in, but Mihawk was still stabbed. He had to jump back, and Zoro he didn't win, but he stabbed Mihawk. Mihawk was amazing, because my hawk eyes aren't all hawk-ish. Mihawk walked onto his ship, saying, "Alright then, Rono and Zoro. You have good friends who actually wanted you to fight, but knowing you weren't strong enough. Those are good friends because they want you to chase your dreams. Now, I know that you will become strong. So when you become stronger, fight me. Well, I'll be waiting." Zoro wasn't crying, but he's like, I didn't lose. Because Mihawk gave him respect, because Zoro also stabbed him, so, yeah. Now, Luffy treats Zoro's giant slash wound, and Zoro thanks Luffy, and asks, did he lose originally? Luffy would nod, saying, "All of you are a lot stronger than the original time I met you." He tells Zoro, "I'd rank you probably around the time me and you went to Alabasta, because I guarantee you're already cut through steel." Zoro nods, saying, "Like butter." So Luffy lays Zoro down on the deck of the ship, like a blanket and stuff, because that's where Zoro originally slept a lot. Not intentionally, but that's where he took naps. Zoro takes a nap on the deck. Luffy talks to Sanji, and tells Sanji that, Sanji owes Luffy for, 1, beating up Don Krieg's whole crew, letting his crewmate get slashed by Mihawk, and sending Sanji the letter for Observation Haki. Sanji was like, "No, I don't owe you shit, you did that of your own accord." And that's like, Sanji, regardless if you did it of his own accord, you owe him. So, yeah, that's why everyone's going with me. They owe me. So now you're coming with me. So Sanji would nod. Luffy then also whispers in his ear, saying, "I also want to see you beat the hell out of your siblings." She says, "Oh, now I'm most definitely going with you. If you get to do that, I'm going, most definitely." Zeph waits by Sanji. Luffy waits by Zeph, saying, "At least this time I didn't shoot a cannonball through the Bronte by accident." Zeph says, "If you did that, I would have killed you." He says, "You can try. I'll drown you." You jump on the boat. Sanji jumps on as well. And Yosuke are treating Zoro like a king now because he's injured. And they sail all the way to Logtown. To Logtown, Luffy encourages Zoro to take a little rest, using by Zoro, Kitetsu, and Yubashiri. But Zoro insists on going with Luffy to at least scope it out, but that's when Yosuke's like, "I'll stay with Zoro, Johnny, you can investigate the blades," so that works. Zoro accepts that, and they go and examine Yubashiri and Kitetsu. He mentions the names of both blades, and immediately Ippomatsu knows what Luffy's talking about. So Luffy gets the blades, and he's able to test out his luck, and his luck is better than Zoro's, so he doesn't even get cut remotely. He takes both the blades, and he's met the blade to his neck by Bakuna. He realizes the ship that Luffy came off of had a straw hat on, and he's wearing a straw hat right now. Immediately, Luffy just flicked Kuina's blade in the ceiling, saying, "Too slow," and he walks out. Now, he tells Johnny one of those blades to Zoro. He may have to fight tons of Marines. So, Sanji did the cooking competition, and is actually a lot better at cooking, because Zeph did say that Sanji cooking may be improved by observation haki, so Sanji does work on observation haki, with cooking as well. So he's actually able to do a lot more proficient food, and a lot better. He makes the food, he serves it, and maybe it's small, but tasted heavenly to the judges. So the cooking competition, and did his thing. Got the fish, put it on board, cooked up some future dinner, and then Nami got all the stuff she needed. It's not as much. Except did the whole thing Daddy Masterson. And the moment the stuff got done, he was like, I'm not too good with these. These can I use my slingshot. He's pressing the bottom Kabuto, shooting it up, so Brian has a regular slingshot. And that moves up, and Daddy Masterson the whole attack. When Daddy Masterson shot a gun first, easily dodged it, and shot a lead ball right at his chest. As it hit him, Daddy Masterson had the wind knocked out of him, and fell to his knees. Now, Luffy is up and said, "Alright then, did I win?" The mission was gasping for air and coughing, when it was able to smack his back full force, and that gave him a good gust. Like, all right then, you win. No more lead balls. That hurts. So yeah. Now, eventually, Luffy does just go to the ship. Well, first he goes to the ship, make sure everyone's okay. But as soon as he turns around, you see Smoker, Kobe, Helmeppo, and dozens of other Marines. As he sees them, he first off runs straight towards Smoker, saying, "Hey, Smoker, this battle should be fun. I want you to live until be the only Marine that catches me. So until then, get stronger." Smoker's a little confused and shocked, but suddenly Luffy goes for a gun and pistol. Smoker dodges it until he realizes that Luffy's arm reached around, grabbing the whole baton, and hit Smoker in the back of the head with it because it's sea stone, and it knocked him out. He pulls his arm back around at Kobe, saying, "Hey Kobe, you, Helmeppo, and Smoker, you need to be the strongest pirates that can beat me." He looks at Tashigi, who ran at Luffy, and he blocks his attack with his two fingers, saying, "Hey, there's a person on my ship who will be your rival. Well, until you can at least raise me, you're not gonna have a chance at least beating him." He's able to snap the blade, either a bit she thought she was going to snap it, but he flicked it through, not flicked it, but threw it through a building, and he walked away from Kuina and everything. So yeah, Kuina's just in shock and amazed that Luffy knew there was going to be a rival. But she's like, all right, there's a swordsman, so now, and the guy in the blue jacket seemed like a really strong one, seemed like my level, so it must be someone stronger. Now Luffy does eventually leave with the Straw Hats, and once they leave, Kobe would bow to Luffy, saying, "All right then, well, I'll become as strong as possible." And Luffy, Smoker is out of voice range because he woke up. Luffy does yell, "You need to steal Smoker. Ask the Marines about Haki and Rokushiki. You'll need those." Smoker had heard about Haki, but not Rokushiki. When Garp stopped by for a visit after visiting Chilltown and Logtown to see how everyone's doing there, Garp was actually asked by Smoker about Rokushiki and Haki, and Garp would ask where he heard that. He says, "Oh yeah, some Marine in a straw hat. Not Marine, I mean pirate in a straw hat." Garp laughing, "That's my damn grandson, that fool." And that's when Smoker's like, "Oh, well, can you answer my question?" Garp says, "Get on board. Or we'll get you, your right-hand man," and things like Kobe and Helmeppo, saying, "You two are in the middle training, so you took it on board." Tashigi, Smoker, Kobe and Helmeppo get on board, and Garp begins their training for Haki for Smoker, and Tashigi, Rokushiki for Kobe and Helmeppo, not Zoro, Helmeppo. So yeah, Strides sail over Reverse Mountain already. Well, they get over Reverse Mountain before Garp gets to Logtown, by the way, but yeah. But with Laboon, Luffy already knows what Laboon wants. And Crocus, he points out Crocus as a member of Roger's crew. And Luffy just lies, saying Shanks showed him a picture of the old crew, and Crocus looks a lot like one of the old crew members. So Crocus buys that lie, and Luffy does tell Laboon about Brook's crew. And as Luffy talks to Laboon, Crocus is a little confused on why Luffy knows all this. Luffy does say, "It's instinct." Plus, there's a certain devil fruit I heard of, now spotted in the Thorian Triangle. You mentioned the devil fruit being what's the fruit? What's the name of Brook's fruit? I almost said Brook's devil fruit was named the Yami Yomi, but it's Yomi Yomi. So like life fruit, I think, or something like that. So yeah, Brook has a Yomi Yomi, and tells the name of the fruit, saying what it does and everything. And that's when Crocus like, "Oh, that fruit." Well, on the assumption that Brook actually did eat it. Not Brook, but on something that this person did eat it, or one of the members maybe ate it. I give the impression there may be alive in Thorian Triangle, but screened it. He says, maybe. Who knows? But if they actually go near Thorian Triangle and find the devil fruit, one of them is at least alive. At least one of them. Crocus smiles, saying, "All right then, Laboon, wait for them to come find you, because I guarantee you that boy will find them first, and send them your way." So Laboon will squeak back, and Luffy paints a good stride symbol on Laboon's head. With that, Laboon's happy with it, and Luffy and Crocus wave goodbye. Well, Crocus does give Luffy some good medical advice and some notes on how to fix up the sword wound a lot better. So yeah. Now, they do find Mr. 9 and Vivi the same way, everything. They get to Cert Village. Not Cert Village, I mean Whiskey Peak. I only said Cert Village, but they get to Whiskey Peak. And we want them all. They're all assassins, but the buff nun, keep her alive, or at least try to keep her alive, and then keep the guy in like the weird wig alive. It was definitely the weird guy in the weird wig. They nod and they beat down every single member of the village instantly, and they can't really deny Luffy because, well, he's been right about everything so far and made sense. As soon as night falls, that's when they begin beating them all up, and everyone suddenly pulled out knives and guns from their pockets, so it couldn't be denied. What Luffy was saying was true. With this Monday, Zoro easily overpowered her and knocked her out. Then with Igaram, Luffy just legit like did a gun pistol to his gut and knocked him out. Now by the time everyone's beaten, then they interrogate Miss Monday, Mr. Nine, and Igaram and Vivi, and it's leaked that Igaram is Vivi's attendant, Vivi is Princess of Alabasta. Miss Monday says we're helping them, and someone was trying to admit the same. But suddenly, Luffy's shot in the back by an explosion, but Luffy isn't fazed by it. Luffy can start coming already because Mr. 5 should be here by now, so he can set up every single muscle in his body. But then the explosion hit, Luffy's clothes are ruined, but he also has a slight burn mark on his back. Luffy immediately turned around extremely fast and did a Gungam bazooka to Mr. 5's chest, flying back and almost killing him. Because Luffy just Gungam bazooka his ribs, so I think that couldn't have been good. So yeah. Now, eventually, Luffy does just beat up. Well, not he doesn't do it, but this allows, who was it? Zoro. He beats Miss Monday, and he did it pretty easily. So yeah, they leave, and they head straight towards, what was it? Oh yeah. The Little Garden. That's what I was thinking of. I forgot the name for a second, but Little Garden. They get to Little Garden, and when they get there, it's a pretty place. So, at Little Garden, they still, Zoro and Sanji still get the food, but Zoro mainly just hunts the biggest one, on Sanji's request, and then Sanji is supposed to, just make sure it's a good one. So they come to a very good, conclusion. Luffy did have to admit, when, earlier on, in the adventure there, the rivalry was kind of annoying, but to say, you guys still be rivals, but don't be as annoying. So instead of, the whole, competition, ooh, who's the king's bigger? So it was just tell me, I'll find the biggest one I can, and then you can come with me, make sure if I get the right one. But you don't need to do anything, just make sure it's prepared right. Sanji agrees, and that's how they do it. So now when they meet Dory and Bragi, Luffy's actually able to convince them to end this whole war, but not a whole war, but the whole duel, and say, hey, I'll bring back some of your crewmates, because I know where two of them are, so if I bring them back to Elbaf, we end this war. Or this duel. Dory and Bragi agree, saying we'll go to Elbaf, but if we're not there within at least 5 months, we're going to continue our duel. Luffy agrees to that, and now Dory and Bragi leave. Or they try to until Dory realizes he can't move. He does try to move, Luffy does recognize this wax, and say, Galdino, just come out. He walks out and nervous, saying, how do you know my name? He says, oh, I just know all Crocodile's workers. I didn't know where you were. But suddenly, Zoro clashes his back, saying, alright then, well, it's handled. Then Miss Golden does try to paint on Luffy, but he just turns around and just chops her inside of the neck, knocking her out. And now that's handled. Now Luffy just leaves the door and Bragi after the wax melted a bit, and yeah. So Straw Hats already ended up Dory and Bragi left, Sanji and Zoro got the food. Mr. 3 was beaten, Luffy chopped Miss Monday, Miss Golden Week inside of the neck, knocking her out. Now, next stop, they go all the way over to Drum Island. When I get there with Vivi and Igaram, Miss Monday, and Mr. 9. By the time they get there, Luffy's kind of just chilling. He doesn't know where to meet Chopper at. It is assumed because he didn't see a Wapple ship, and he just kind of just docks and goes up towards the castle. Because around this time, Chopper would probably be with Dr. Rean on the castle. So he travels up there. He does come across the gigantic animals. he legit just like elbows one of them in the gut, and that knocks him out. So he just goes up the mountain, climbing it pretty fast. He gets to the top. He looks at Dr. Heerlook, who just used like the climbing bike thing. Pretty sure there's one of those. There isn't. There's now one of them. By the time Dr. Heerlook gets up there, didn't see Luffy. Luffy follows him because it's Dr. Heerlook. He knows it. Dr. Heerlook goes inside, sees Chopper actually cleaning up a bit. Dr. Heerlook shuts the door. Luffy knocks on it, and they're all confused. But Luffy. Dr. Heerlook opens it, and he's questioning who Luffy is. Luffy looks at Chopper, saying, "You." When it's Chopper asks what Luffy wants. Luffy says, "Hey, I'm the one that gave you the recipe for the Rumble Balls." Chopper says, "Wait, that's what they're called." Well, that was the name of them. That's what I was thinking of. I lost the letter. And Luffy knows Chopper is a little bit bigger in his normal form. Chopper's around 5 foot exactly now. Luffy talks to Chopper a bit, and they're all a little shocked because, well, they didn't know Luffy was going to send the letter. No one did until they met him. And one notable thing about Chopper, since he's around human size now, and he's done a lot of Rumble Ball experiments, so his body's a little more altered. He's around human size, so he's around 5 foot exactly. And then, well, he's around 3 foot, maybe actually short human's height, but Chopper is around 5 foot, and instead of having hooves, he actually has like tiny toes, I guess. But his hands are like you know how he has fingers in his monster point that are more like claws that look like it? That's what Chopper has. So, yeah. Chopper's like a decent amount of muscle mass, but he kind of wears pants normally, and then he wears like a tank top sometimes. But yeah, so Luffy ends up talking to Chopper a little bit, and does tell Chopper, Dr. Reed, and Dr. Heerlook about the normal timeline. And Chopper does have to admit, if he didn't know anything more about medical knowledge, he may have actually gave Dr. Heerlook a poisonous mushroom. And Dr. Heerlook does admit, saying the person he is, he would have ate it to make Chopper feel better. So, either way, Dr. Heerlook, but what Luffy said would have happened. So they're kind of shocked by that, and that's actually evidence enough to back it up. Now with that, Luffy ends up just chilling, and as he just chills with Chopper, the Sharks all come up, and he introduces them to Chopper's future crew. Pause real quick. So Chopper ends up joining with the Straw Hats, because Luffy does ask what happened to Walpole, and Chopper explains what happened exactly with Dalton and everything. Luffy asks who the current king is, and Chopper does say, it's Dr. Heerlook, and Dr. Means his wife, so she's the queen. Like, oh, you two got married. Impressive. Fun. Cool. Well, Chopper, let's go. Chopper says goodbye to Dr. Reed and Dr. Heerlook. The Straughts introduce themselves properly, and then Luffy jumps off the mountain, lands on his feet, and then he leaves. Now, Dalton does ask Luffy what he had a business he had up there, and sees Chopper with him. However, Chopper explains the whole thing very briefly, just not mentioning the time travel thing. Say, oh yeah, you taught me a thing or two a while ago, but you sent me something a while ago, and me and him talking. Well, me and him met up now, and I'm going with him out to sea to be the best doctor in the world. Now, Dalton says about Chopper, it was nice seeing him, and then Luffy, Chopper, Straw Hats leave. Now when they leave and they're on the way to Alabasta, a certain alligator for their ship, and so Nico Robin will jump on board. Luffy looks at her, he goes, oh, hey Robin. And Robin says, I guess Ketsu or someone else warned you about me? He goes, not a warning, just says you're joining my crew. Robin sighs, and alright then, you got me. Now she goes over the whole thing that Dragon told her. Kersu didn't tell Luffy the whole story, but what Kersu did say is that basically, he said that Dragon had made Nick Robin a double agent for Crocodile. Like, oh yeah, Crocodile, you're gonna spy on him for us, and then on him / government for us. But if you do something like Luffy, I do encourage you to go with him. So Robin actually taking the advice of Dragon says she's willing to go with Luffy if she's somehow able to provide the stuff she needs, which is basically just poneglyphs. So now, as she's like, all right then, well, he's like, all right then, I'll provide poneglyphs, and he goes over the whole thing to the future because it just feels like it. Zoro and Johnny Yusuke hate the long story, but they can't help it. Well, not they. Luffy can't help it. Now, eventually, Luffy does end up going with Robin all the way to the docks, and they're met by millions and billions. As Robin's like, all right, I want to have some fun. So she's able to make a wishy call and say, crocodile, there's pirates coming, and they're really strong ones. So with that, Luffy has been met by millions of billions. And Chopper actually jumps off the boat first, saying he'll handle it. Chopper immediately roars, going to his buff point, and a little bit bigger than actually Frankie is, around the same height as Brook. Chopper immediately tanks through these guys, as he's like as buff as Frankie, but as tall as Brook. He's tanking through these guys easily, and throwing them around through nothing. Chopper's skin has gotten so durable, they're like leather. These normal swords and blades won't step through it. Chopper will step through Chopper clearly. So with that, Chopper's throwing them around through nothing, and Luffy has to admit, this Chopper's the cool one. Usually Chopper ends up going back to his normal size, and pushes one last guy right in the face, knocking him out cold. It laughs, saying, well done, Chopper. You're gonna be a monster when you have armament hockey. Luffy jumps off the boat, and says, now my own brother should be here. I'm gonna go look for him. He runs off, and BB then says, I'll go with him. BB runs to Luffy, and yeah. Now, Zoro just goes around looking around. Luffy ends up coming across. Smoker is not there right now. Like Smoker, Toshiki, Hina, no one's there right now. Zoro actually did ask Garp Smoker asked Garp if Hina can come along, and Hina it was allowed to. Yeah. Now Django's not marining this one because he's gonna beat the living hell out of him the moment he set foot on the island. So yeah, first he beat up Kuro, then Kuro's crew came and Usopp beat them up with a lot of setups. So yeah. Like Usopp's able to type a branch, and when Django set foot, Usopp's able to sneakily cut the branch, and the branch hits Django right in the face, breaking his nose and a few teeth. Django passed out, and he was out the whole time. The Yamcha brothers were caught by ropes, and by the time they tried to break out, they're beat by bats with little kids. So they're beat with bats by little kids, and they're unconscious by then. So yeah, that kind of had the whole Kuro thing set up. And yeah, now that leaves Hina and Smoker and Shiggy and the other ones, plus Kobe and Helmpo. They are all just with Garp training. And Sengoku did see a large number of large number of people that are training with Garp. So yeah. Now with that, like Sengoku doing the training a bit, that led to just Sengoku helping Garp with training. Like he told Garp, oh yeah, you handle like Kobe, Helmpo, Shiggy. I'll handle Hina, Smoker, and her crew. And Hina's marine crew, plus Smoker's marine crew. So yeah. Now back to Luffy. So Luffy runs into the bar where he knows Ace is. Ace is there. They're actually about to leave. And Luffy begins talking to Ace, because Ace is Luffy. Luffy and Ace get along pretty well. And Luffy wants to tell Ace the truth about, like... He wants to tell Ace about the truth about the future. So he brings Ace outside to Alley and tells Ace about everything. He tells Ace the truth about everything, and Ace is like, let me explain what you already knew what to do. I was about to spit on you when you were little kids. I knew about the boat, knew about the Social Dragon, everything. And he said him and Sabo had like a running joke that you were from the future because you knew everything so well. Because I guess it was true. So Luffy actually asked about Ace, is he still in contact with Sabo? And Ace says, oh yeah, a little bit. We send letters back and forth at least once or twice every 2 weeks. So yeah, they're pretty long letters. Now, eventually, Ace says, all right, well, he's gonna leave now. He has to chase Teach. And Teach did stop at Drum Island, but immediately he was met with guns, knives, swords, and was fired down upon. Now, the sniper was actually able to like shoot a few people, but everyone's just like prepared with weapons, though with a superior number of guards. Actually, a few of them are sniper. A few like Burgess, Blackbeard, they're all shot a few times. They actually retreat, so they didn't set foot exactly on Drum Island. So Ace heard about that, so didn't go to Drum Island. And then, Blackbeard wasn't at Dressrosa. Not Dressrosa, I mean at Alabasta. So Ace just says he's here for Scorpion, and Luffy says, oh yeah, I've heard about the bunny hunter Scorpion. He quite literally is just a liar to attract stronger pirates and kidnap them and then turn them in for bounty money. But still Ace that he should at least give him a few bucks because he does it for his kids. So Ace does just that and then leaves. Now, Strats eventually do come on Scorpion, and Luffy actually gives Scorpion a few 10 million berries. Now Scorpion appreciates that, immediately cries, and then feeds its kids. Now it's time for the war between Luffy and the rest of his men. Luffy versus all Crocodile's men. Strats versus all Crocodile's men. Yeah. This Monday is actually able to gather all the members of Galileo Law. Not Galileo Law. I don't say Galileo Law. All the members of Baroque Works. And by the time they're all gathered, Luffy's. This Monday's like, alright, well, pirates are here. They know about us, so we should defeat them. Now, by the time they're already, they're getting ready for a war. I've got a question why this Monday's there. Those in chuckles saying, sorry, but I had no choice. And suddenly, they hear a certain yell. Luffy already developed Gear 2nd, but he wants to try out his new developed Gear 3rd on his body. Goes to his thumb, as he then yells, Elephant Magnum. Thumbs it down, or Grizzly Magnum. Thumbs his arm down on all Crocodile's men, or millions and billions, plus some numbers, and that instantly defeats a lot of them. You see Zoro come from behind saying, Onigiri, slashing a lot of them. Chopper was already Monster Point, slamming his fist on all of them. Crocodile realized this was a setup for defeat. And as Crocodile's ready to use his Sand Fruit, suddenly he feels some water balloons pelting him, and he sees Usopp with one giant one dropping it on him. And Crocodile's in shock because that's a lot of water. Suddenly he then hears the yell Gear 2nd and Jet Gatling. Crocodile's instantly pummeled and knocked unconscious. Robin had heard about how much planning went into this, and all the water balloons thrown at Crocodile were by Robin. But suddenly Crocodile was put in the clutch stance, and Luffy punches him in the gut one last time, knocking him out. So yeah. And eventually, all of Crocodile's millions and billions are taken down. All that's left is Mr. 1, Mr. Doublefinger, and Mr. 7. So, Usopp just fights Mr. 7 with his sheer hand in combat. Mr. 7 has superior physical strength, but Usopp's a lot faster and smarter. He was able to take him down, but without a few bruises. Mr. McChristen is taken to Milo by Luffy's giant gear third attack. And then we have Zoro, who easily cut down Mr. 1. Like, when Mr. 1 went for attack, Zoro just used Itoryu and then just did a very quick, slash and then let him down. And Mr. 1's like, what do you do? Cut me? I'm basically made of steel. And Zoro says, I cut steel like butter. Because he just went behind him and slashed him. Or appeared behind him with a slash. Crocodile's already taken down, and that proceeds, or that concludes the Alabasta arc. The arc is concluded with the Marines coming after they're called, but first they're called after the party, and they're able to find some Seastone stuff to restrain Crocodile and everyone else. So yeah, Miss Sunday, which Robin, in exchange for being a Crocodile and training him, really she's a double agent for a certain someone, and like, oh, okay, cool. Well, what do you want in exchange for? Because you're helping us secretly, and we know that. So what do you want in exchange? And Robin says, I just want to read the poneglyph. So she reads it, and she asks Robin a certain question. Can you teach me to read those? Robin says it's going to be hard, but she'll teach. So she teaches Luffy how to read them, and everything. Now, I'm going to go over Luffy's bounty, because Luffy completely forgot about his bounty. So, Luffy's display at Logtown will actually look very impressive. So with that, Luffy's starting bounty, is actually 60 million. That's the starting bounty. Pause real quick. So, basically, Luffy, everyone's like, oh yeah, I can teach you opponents, it's going to be really hard though. But then Luffy's bounty, 60 million, and then plus what he did to Don Krieg's crew before that. That already gave Luffy a pretty high bounty, because also Mihawk reported about the Straw Hat saying, oh yeah, one of them somehow stabbed me. It was a deep wound, but they're actually able to catch me off guard. That's already enough impressive display. That already increased Luffy's bounty with 60 million, then Mihawk reported in. So then, he already put the Don Krieg crew thing, by the way. I always wonder about the rest of the crew. They were kicked off by Zeph. But, yeah. So, Luffy's bounty with the Don Krieg crew, plus what Zoro did to Mihawk. Luffy punching a ship, or kicking a ship in half and then throwing it away like it was nothing. I already gave Luffy an impressive strength feat, but Zoro not being captain, they're kind of worried about Luffy now, because of what Luffy could probably do. So, Luffy's bounty actually went from 60 million all the way to 120, up to another 60. While Zoro's given a bounty of 80 million. And it's they got one new member, some blonde cook. So they didn't get a picture, so Sanji has that same like drawn picture, and it's like, oh, he has a bounty of 40 million. That's Sanji's bounty. So yeah. But then this display at Alabasta. A very well thought out plan that could take down Crocodile perfectly. They party for 3 days with Crocodile imprisoned, and then Straws leave, then Crocodile's arrested. Now, Crocodile's forced to tell what happened to him, And Crocodile has no choice, so he tells what happened to him, and they're all shocked that this plan was thought out. Garp seems shocked to hear that his own grandson, who seemed dumb as hell, could do this. Like, alright then, well, my grandson, if he's that smart, taking on a warlord this fast, who knows what else he could do to other warlords that he encounters. With that gives Luffy another bounty, an increase, all the way up to 200 million. By the time Luffy gets to Jaya, his bounty is already 200 million. Zoro's bounty is up to, because he took down Mr. 1, his bounty is up all the way to, let's say his bounty is 120 million. He takes Luffy's old bounty. Sanji takes Zoro's old bounty at 80 million, plus they get a proper picture of him, because he did fight Mr. 2, by the way, forgot to say that, fought Mr. 2. Then Nami got a bounty as well, plus Chopper. Nami and Chopper got bounties. So Usopp didn't get a bounty yet, because no one else has to fight Mr. 1 because it ended insanely quick. Like, Mr. 1 got a few punches in, and they boost Usopp a bit, but Usopp just gave a good flying knee to Mr. 7's face, knocking him out. Usopp did fight Mr. 1 to be equal fight, by the way. Just say that right now, because Usopp's that strong. But, yeah. So, but much point, Chopper got a bit more impressive display, and because he was so monstrous, that got him a higher bounty. His bounty, at this point, is around 10,000 berries. All then, Nami has a bounty of 5 million, because she took down Miss Doublefinger, but no one saw the full fight. We didn't know how it went. At least saw Nami come out with a few cuts, and that's really it. Let's go. Miss Doublefinger seemed like she had a bright bruise across her face, so they assumed that Nami got a good hit in, and that knocked her out. Now we have never mind. So let's head to Jaya. They get there. They meet Mashira. They goes kind of the same, but Luffy does say, like, oh yeah, we'll treat you nice. If you want some food, more food to cool you down. Not cool you down, but to warm you up, sure. Sanji, you can do that. And Mashira's looking shocked. They meet Shoujo. It goes pretty cool. Like, she's like, oh yeah, they fed me and everything. They seem bad, but they're actually pretty cool guys. Then they meet Cricket first, and then they head down to where Bellamy is. They head down there as Bellamy's walking out of the bar, and Teach is eating pie outside. And Luffy meets Teach. Him and Teach talk for a bit, and Teach's like, oh yeah, what's your dream and everything. But then Luffy actually knowing who Blackbeard is and not liking him, but it does say this Teach was a pretty cool guy. But Luffy does feel bad about one thing. Teach doesn't sleep. So Luffy does one thing. How does a man who's never had a dream say the dreams live on forever? Teach immediately looks at Luffy saying, how do you know me? And says, if my brother's gunning for you, I know you. Teachin says, so you're Ace's brother, huh? Luffy laughs saying, well, answer my question. How is a man who's never had a dream know that dreams live on forever? Teachin says, I don't know. It's just a hope. He looks at Luffy saying, now, how about we have a battle here? Delver versus Delfert. Now, immediately, Bellamy was watching this. He doesn't know who Luffy is. Well, he didn't know about Luffy's 80 million berry bounty, that's really it. He doesn't know about Luffy's 200 million currently. Luffy got one bounty, then immediately got it increased to another million, something. But yeah. Now, Luffy does, what was it? So, he looks at Bellamy saying, you're watching us, you want to fight too? Bellamy immediately sprang towards Luffy saying, try me. Your 80 million bounty means nothing. But suddenly he's immediately just punched right out. And before Luffy hits him, he says, Abandoned Doflamingo doesn't care about you. His first words is, Abandoned Doflamingo doesn't care about you. But then punches out Bellamy. As Bellamy's knocked out, Luffy then ends up looking at Teach, saying, alright then, now me and you. Luffy and Teach are the most isolated part where there's not much buildings, or if there's buildings, they're abandoned. So as we're watching this, so is the crew of Blackbeard, and the fight begins. Teach will try to use Black Hole, but Luffy used Gear Second, outsped it, and he tackled Teach and slammed him into the ground. Now eventually, after Teach is slammed, and Teach immediately begins like a fascia gatling to the face, insanely quick. So that Teach is being punched left and right, and eventually he's able to use his strength to punch Luffy right off of him. Luffy's able to use an arm quickly to block, but Luffy he almost broke my arm, or could have broken my arm. Luffy will catch himself on a building. As Teach is trying to absorb it, Luffy's able to wrap his arm around it, pick up in the air, and slam it right down on Teach, full force. With that, Luffy immediately defused Gear Second, because he's only going in it for too long. Because he already knows he's not going to live a very long life in his last life. In his original life, original time. Luffy, in his 30s, was already probably not going to live past 63. But Luffy uses Gear Second a little bit longer, he doesn't use it for long in this one. Luffy immediately went into his gear third, picking up Cheech. Empties to spin around, and his arm like thinning out. Once he got Teach thinning out, throwing him high in the air as possible, and then slam Teach on the pavement full force. When he spun off the ground, he lands on his back, like face down, and coughed up blood. He landed, and Teach was unconscious. Luffy had laughed, saying, "Wow, I never moved that fast in my life. Plus my arm hurts. Teach, you're an impressive man." And I look forward to our next bout. Luffy has Ace's favorite card. He pulls out of his hat, saying he's feeling Ace is coming close. Now, Luffy does regret what he's about to do, but he does warn them, saying, "Ace is on his way. Get him out of here." Burgess does try to move like when they're going at Luffy, saying, "Beat the hell of our captain. I know you're trying to help us. What kind of person are you?" But suddenly he's kicked right in the gut by Sanji and passed it out. Bellamy's crew was watching this whole fight and realized that Luffy's in a completely different league than Bellamy. But they didn't hear what Luffy said. Doflamingo does not care about you. And it's like Bellamy's right-hand man, as Bellamy's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, what do you want from me? Luffy does say. He's been with Doflamingo before. Doflamingo has killed people that were like his allies, and killed them for no reason other than being beaten by someone stronger. Doesn't care about the whole someone stronger phrase. If you don't get out of here with Bellamy, he will come here and kill you. So Bellamy's right-hand man takes that word to heart because Luffy's a strong guy. So he picks up Bellamy, runs, and they sail away. But they try to lay low as much as possible. Now, Luffy goes like to frigate with his crew, and then they're ready for the whole water spout thing. So, as they go towards like the spout, Luffy is just waiting for it, and because he already knows where to go and everything, does he's positive where to go, and immediately they're shot in the sky, and Luffy's pretty grateful about that, so he's cool with it. The moment they're in the sky, they're able to pay the bill. Like, oh yeah, you have to be like, go here. Pause quick. So they will pay the X-toll bill and to get in, so they're not hunted down by the white soldiers. It sounds very racist, no matter what, but they're not hunted down by the sky soldiers. They meet Pagoda and Konis, and they get along pretty well. Now, as they're on Skypiea, Luffy does know about Enel, but does warn them, we can't talk about him here because maybe we may be stricken down. But eventually, Luffy is able to whisper in Konis' ear, saying, "We have something that can take down Enel. Just wait." Konis nodded, smiling and almost crying, saying, "Please do it for us." Now, Luffy he uses his brief observation haki because he's not trying to learn it yet. He wants to learn like the basics of it and just train with those basics, but he wants to at least be stronger for Rayleigh. That's really it. Because when he trains for Rayleigh, he wants to know if Rayleigh will teach him better Ryuo. He's just curious about that one thing. That's really it. Because if he does train with Rayleigh currently, he will not unlock Ryuo. That's why he's trying to learn the basics or relearn them. But yeah. Luffy searches for Gon Falls and is able to find him and Pierre. But now Luffy actually tells Zoro to start to create a ruckus outside of the town, but be careful. He's bringing a lot of metal with you, and then if you feel lightning bolt strike you, use the time to Zoro lightning bolt to strike you. Then tell Zoro to throw metal in the air, and with Enel's not perfect lightning, we should be able to hit him. He uses this to Zoro, so Zoro does it. But yeah, Zoro being faster and stronger than Enel currently. Just Enel has lightning. It's a Logia. That's really it. Now, Luffy just Gon Falls about this. Zoro's creating a ruckus for Enel. The priests are being beaten down by the rest of the Straw Hats, so it's not working. But Gon Falls goes with the plan, and Luffy tells Gon Falls go around this way. This should be pretty outside of somewhat outside of Enel's range. Yeah, so Luffy eventually just runs away as fast as he can, and when he does come across Enel's lightning bolt, he's actually able to just be hit by it and be unfazed. But first he takes off his shirt and cloak because doesn't want them to be ruined. They already got ruined once by who was it? I forgot, but yeah. So Luffy is able to find where Enel is immediately and run towards him. Now Enel goes that Luffy was able to block his lightning, or at least not be affected by it, so that didn't worry him. But Luffy eventually does find Enel, and him and Enel fight. Now Luffy is kind of remembering some of Enel's moves, so he actually just tell Enel just go all out. So Enel listens, and Enel immediately goes all out because Luffy's too strong. So with Enel being too strong, Luffy being too strong, Enel goes all out immediately, but it leaves Luffy just go your third immediately and just punch Enel right in the chest and him flying down to the ground. And Luffy just treats Enel like a ragdoll, beating the living hell out of him. The priests that were still in the woods not fighting the Strats run to look for Enel because they had seen him go all out, and the Strats run towards wonder where Luffy is because they had seen Luffy's giant gear third arm, but they see Enel being stomped on by Luffy. Eventually, Enel's priests are shocked, like, is that? I'm confused. Suddenly, Gunfalls would come by with a giant sword, lashing them all down, saying, "All right then, I guess the plan worked. You guys distracted the ones outside, took them down. Luffy took down Enel, and I took down the remainder. It's a pretty solid plan." Luffy just laughed, saying, Enel's just a guy that had power go to his head. So it was pretty simple. Luffy began thinking, saying, Enel's devil fruit is too dangerous, and I hate to do this. Grabbed Enel's neck and squeezed, crushing it. Enel's dead, and Luffy found the nearest fruit, which was in the forest, which something Enel to eat. It was through Gunfalls. Gunfalls looks confused when the fruit turns to a different color and different pattern. Vito say, that fruit is Enel's power. You can either guard it or eat it, but be careful with it. Immediately Enel's like, not Enel. While Gunfall's like, no, I don't want to eat it. But Wiper looks at Gunfall saying, let me eat it. I know for a fact it won't go to my head. The only reason I was like me is because Enel was alive and hurting us. But now, I'm calm, I'm rational. Please let me eat it, I'll become God. Or you can say God and I'll be the guardian outside of the whole Verth. So Gunfall throws fruit to Wiper, and Wiper eats it. And he's in fundamental change. So he's like, alright then, the fruit wasn't the cause, it was just Enel being a bad person. Luffy would nod, saying, alright then, well, I'm gonna be going now. While Wiper ends up saying, alright then, take at least a little bit of our gold and everything. Because Robin wasn't fighting, she's reading the poneglyph, Luffy told her where to find it. But yeah, so Robin found the poneglyph, read the writing on it and everything. And yeah. But all that's left is basically Luffy just getting a lot of gold from them. But he doesn't take all of it, because he takes all of it. Even when they're trying to run away, the giant piece of gold, Luffy actually takes that, saying, no, don't worry, it's not a cannon. He picks it up. And I to mention Johnny Yosuku a lot, but Johnny Yosuku are on the crew. The only ones I thought was a cannon at first, and then Luffy just takes it. It's like, nah, it's not a cannon, it's gold. But they stay on like an extra few hours to get the gold cut down a bit. But now I'm going to talk about Water 7. So because Luffy sent them a warning of Lucci and all of them, like, immediately the moment Lucci arrived at Law with Kaku and Khalifa, Iceberg and Frankie were there, and Frankie looks at the Iceberg saying, I think it's them. And Frankie looks at the letter saying, it is. Immediately Lucci's like, what are you talking about? Suddenly Lucci's face is pummeled right into the ground, repeatedly over and over and over, until he then says, Government workers aren't allowed to send spies here. If they want something, they come face it themselves. Khalifa immediately went to kick Frankie, but Iceberg was able to grab her leg and then throw her into a wall. Frankie, being the main fighter, is actually able to run and just tackle her, not tackle, but kind of shoulder block her into a wall, and then knock her out. Kaku went for like a Tempest kick, but Frankie, being made of steel, isn't fully affected by it. But Iceberg just picked up a 2x4 and hit Kaku in the side of the head. Kaku being dazed a bit, but then Frankie used Coup Vent, shooting him into the air and knocking him out with that. Immediately, Lucci and them are restrained. And Luffy did mention their devil fruit. Well, at least Lucci and Blueno are devil fruit users. Blueno somewhere else, but they didn't send out tons of soldiers for Blueno. But Iceberg's able to find something to restrain devil fruit users, which is Sea Stone. They didn't have much, but they had some. So Lucci's restrained. Hawk and Khalifa are tied up normally, but they're hung upside down like their hands and feet are. Blueno. This leaves this leaves Blueno, and Blueno is being attacked by soldiers. He's able to use door fruit to escape to a decent distance, but immediately as he's somewhere else, Iceberg and Frankie spread out along the Law who had some Sea Stone. Frankie actually had just a Sea Stone brick. Immediately when he saw Blueno, he threw it at Blueno's head and it knocked out Blueno. But now they tie up Blueno with the basic ropes, but they put bits of Sea Stone inside they just drop particles of Sea Stone inside the rope, so it's not harder to break. Just it makes Blueno weak and can't use a devil fruit. Now immediately put him on like C train, and they actually restrained. There wasn't decent just like very rushy some handcuffs. They're still too strong to break out of, and they restrained them fully. They send them back immediately to Annie's lobby. So yeah, and when Annie's lobby got them like in handcuffs, like oh wow, they're new government workers. Someone leaked our information, and it couldn't have been CP9 because they're all beaten up in some form. So they're a little curious, and actually makes CP9 retreat back to back to the Marine base. So the CP9 arc will not happen because Robin's not going to be kidnapped. So Strats get to they get to Water 7. Ship is still beyond repair, but they did actually repair it decently. Like they're like, oh yeah, the ship was repaired really good. It's just something happened recently. Luffy already knows what it was. It was like the ship. We fell from the sky. He does tell the whole thing to Polly, Iceberg, and Frankie, because Frankie's not in Frankie family. He wants to help Iceberg to prepare. Iceberg prepare for the whole for everyone in. Helped Iceberg prepare for all of CP9. So they got along better during that time, and it was just a lot more helpful. So they got along a lot better. So they're both thought the ship is pretty messed up. So like, yeah, we fell in the sky, so the ship's pretty messed up, and it doesn't work. Now, eventually Frankie does realize he does like Strides a lot. They're really cool guys. So, kind of weird. Now, Frankie does actually volunteer to build him a better ship, and Frankie liking Luffy a lot more as like just a cooler person. Actually does say that he's willing to build Luffy like a bigger ship. And Luffy does like mention some stuff that he wants on the ship. And when he says stuff he wants on the ship, Frankie's like, oh, well, the ship is going to be pretty easy for me to build. It's going to take a few days, so it's going to be easy. So Luffy accepts that answer from Frankie, and yeah, so he accepts that answer. Eventually, Frankie is just done the ship after a few days, and the ship's done. So that's all I can say. Ship's done. I don't know what to say. This arc is all kind of scrambled because CP9's gone. But yeah. They leave with Frankie because Luffy's able to convince Frankie to join them, and then CP9. Frankie's like, all right, if we know you like the Frat, so just go with them. With that happening, Luffy is like, all right, cool, Frankie's with us, goodbye. Let's leave, and it's pretty settled. All right, this is the Floating Triangle arc. Floating Triangle arc starts with... Wait, pause real quick. It's the beginning of the Floating Triangle arc. So as soon as the Floating Triangle, they come across Brook's ship, or, well, some of it. Brook did get rid of a lot of parts for the ship that wasn't needed. So they kind of found the old parts of it, found the barrel, and as soon as Usopp tried to open it, Usopp gets punched in the back of the head. Vito says throw it back out to the ocean, which they do. So they throw it back to the ocean. They find the whole Thriller Bark area. And Luffy mentioned who's on Thriller Bark. As soon as Chopper heard Dr. Hogback, he was excited, but Luffy does say he's a bad person. But Luffy talks about a plan and how it works. And with the plan being settled, well, not settled, but just agreed upon. Like, all right, cool. We have a I guess just a way to go in. He tells them about the groups that should happen. Says that Chopper, Usopp, and Chopper and Usopp should go after Dr. Hogback. I say salt is their weakness, by the way, so just get a lot of salt. So they do so. Then tells Frankie. No. Usopp isn't with Usopp's with, because Usopp isn't as negative or scary. Not so scary, but not as scary as a scaredy cat as normal, or according to canon. So Usopp goes with Chopper still. So this leaves Frankie with Perona, and Frankie developed a salt cannon, a big one. Zoro also goes with Frankie. Now for Absalom, this leaves Nami, Robin, and Sanji. Well, then Luffy's gonna handle Moria himself. So we're gonna go over group Chopper, which is just Chopper and Usopp. as Chopper immediately goes over for Usopp. Chopper goes over with Usopp. They come across Dr. Hogback and his like assistant. Immediately, his assistant like skeptical of them, but when Dr. Hogback turns his back, Chopper immediately throws the salt in her mouth and she falls over. Now, immediately Usopp yells, "She's down! She's down! She's down! What happened?" Dr. Hogback is looking at her body. There's a lot of salt in her. What happened? And doesn't find any salt on Usopp or Chopper. Usopp hiding his salt in his mouth, like a ball. He has like his salt star in his mouth. He's hiding that. Chopper just used all the salt on her because he didn't bring that much. Regardless, he doesn't have pockets. But eventually, this leaves Usopp just look at Dr. Hogback and then hit him back the head with Kabuto. So he uses like a step. He hit him back the head and knocked him out. Now they leave and yeah. So now group Robin, which is just Sanji, Robin, and Nami. Okay, so group Robin. So immediately Robin's able to bait in Absalom, and Absalom does use like his visible abilities. We only sent Sanji on this mission because Sanji wants the invisible fruit. But immediately as Absalom's baited in, Nami hits him inside with her staff. Sanji using his brief observation haki, it's not good, but it's brief. He's able to use it a bit. He's able to track Absalom decently and kicks him inside of the head, knocking him out. Now, Luffy is able to buy some Denden Mushi. So Sanji actually calls Luffy Denden Mushi and asks Luffy about devil fruits, and tells Luffy about Absalom devil fruit. What's his phone at? Okay, my phone had died for some reason. But not died, but was at 5%. Luffy told Sanji this one time he will allow Sanji to kill someone. So Sanji had to get a devil fruit, and Sanji I don't want to do it, but there's no other way. Vita Sai saying, Sanji, just do what you want, just prepare what happens if you choose the latter. Sanji tells Robin and Nami look away, and he axe kicks Absalom's head right at the temple, cracking it open and killing him. He finds the nearest fruit that has the invisible fruit, and Sanji eats it. It tastes like shit, but he has powers now. Now with the rest of Absalom's servants, including Lola, Nami just flicks a grain like a star, something into her mouth. It's like just a piece of salt, and her shadows immediately returns to Lola originally. All the rest of the Absalom servants are just beaten with salt by Robin. She just shoves like just gallons of salt into their mouth. Then now Team Frankie, along with Zoro and that's really it, just Zoro and Frankie. So Robin, Sanji, and Nami were one team, and then we have Usopp and Chopper as one team. Then Zoro, Frankie as one, and then what am I forgetting? I keep thinking I'm forgetting Brook, but I forget he's not part of the crew yet. He's on Ruskaina. And this is Luffy. Luffy has his own team. So Zoro and Frankie begin taking down all of Piranha's monsters. And Luffy did tell them a secret to defeat Piranha because he does say he knows about Moria's crew. He says the way to beat Piranha is actually just be negative already. Just put yourself in the worst mindset possible. But Frankie just puts instead of cola some really bad drinks before they fight Piranha. And when Piranha tries to just get Frankie, he's already very negative, saying, "This tastes horrible. It's not running my systems properly." He's really upset. And eventually Piranha being caught off guard by that, she's hit back in the head by the hilt of Zoro's blade. Gets to the handle, and then immediately hits Piranha back the head with it and knocks her out. Kumasi is torn in half by Frankie, saying, "Alright then, that's handled." Now with Moria. Single one of Moria's guards is defeated by Luffy, which just passed them, just using Gum Gatling as he runs. He's able to channel Gear Second into certain limbs only, so Luffy does know the worst cost, possibly being this bad function in these limbs. Like, remember how Deku's if he does use his limb, if he uses 100% one for all too much, he may not have permanent function in his limbs. Luffy may have that same symptom if he uses Gear Second too much in this one limb or certain limb. Well, he doesn't do it for a long period of time, but he does go sticking his legs and his arms, then we taking down all of Moria's guards. But all that's left is just all that's left is pause quick. So Luffy's able to get through all Moria's guards. All that's left is Moria, and she's plants his spirit in ores. Now I'm gonna go over Ryuma in a bit, just saying that I didn't skip over metal. I'm going over him in a bit. But yeah, so Luffy's able to Moria's able to put a shadow in ores, and that fight begins. His ores is unleashed, he breaks out. Luffy's first response, go give you a second in one arm, and then punch a hole connecting Moria using Gundam Gatling. Well, not Moria, but ores. Does that, he is punching multiple holes through him. But then Luffy just wraps his arms around Ores' arm and squeezes as hard as possible. And he just calls it Gum Gum Constrictor. Then he's able to squeeze as hard as possible in entire different directions, turning Ores' arm to pieces. With that, he jumps in the air, grabs Ores' head and then twists, popping it off, then slamming his hand straight down to Moria, and pulling him up, and slams him down on the ground, knocking him out. Pause real quick. Okay, so Luffy punched a hole through Ores, grabbing Moria, and pulling him out. When he pulled Moria out, he just body slammed him and then proceeded to throw him around like ragdoll. Eventually, Moria is beaten after just being abused. But now when you go to Zoro and Frankie again, live in the building when they come across Ryuma. Now, eventually, Ryuma would dash past Frankie, slashing his chest, not killing him, but giving him a pretty deep cut. Now, Clash of Blades with Zoro, and Zoro being a lot stronger than he recently was. As Zoro and Ryuma begin fighting, eventually, Ryuma is actually just outmatched physically, and Ryuma has like a random shadow of a swordsman in there, like a random shadow. This swordsman isn't any good at all, so Zoro's actually able to beat him, and Ryuma's actually gives Zoro the blade, saying, "Here, take care of it." And eventually, like Zoro, he's been using actually something. Johnny, Yosuke, and Kiryu, I forgot that. There's 10 members already. So Zoro, Frankie, Johnny, Yosuke, that was the team. Johnny, Yosuke are actually able to fight off random. Let's say Johnny Spirit is in Ryuma. Let's say that, or Johnny Shadow's in Ryuma. So Johnny Shadow's in Ryuma. Ryuma's beaten by Zoro, beat him easily. Ryuma hands over Yubashiri. Hands over Shusui, and Zoro keeps it. Now, eventually, Zoro does keep. He did keep Yubashiri, but he doesn't mail it to Kuina because he didn't have a third sword. So he's able to get Yubashiri all the way to Kuina, and she keeps it. While Zoro just uses his new blade, Shusui. Now, Zoro, Sanji, Luffy, the whole Strike crew, Johnny, Yosuke, leave. Once they leave, next stop, Luffy is assuming to find Brook somewhere. So they finished up a lot of stuff early. Like they left late. They finished up a lot of stuff early, so they're a little bit earlier now. Pause real quick. No, Luffy would think of where he could find Brook because he realized he has a few days left before he should meet Rayleigh. As they begin thinking, Luffy begins thinking where to find Brook. His first stop, what I probably would think first thought is Amazon Lily, but realizes the Sharks can't come with him. And realizes that Brook is a pervert, an old man, keyword man, and pervert. Yeah. So instead of Amazon Lily, he tries Ruskaina. When he gets there, he sees Brook's ship on the dock, not on the docks, but just docked away. And as soon as he gets there, he comes off the boat and sees the animals bowing down on Brook. Brook's afro, still the same way. Brook is just chilling in with his sword out, and yeah. Brook would see Luffy saying, "Humans! It's good to see those." Well, every once in a while. Not many come by here. He walks up to Luffy, and Luffy says, I'm gonna send you a random letter. Brook says, "Oh, well, I guess you also give me dinner, so yeah, thank you." Did you eat that news, Q? Brook nods saying, "Yep. It was delicious. It tastes like chicken." Luffy sighs, saying, "We're supposed to eat the news queue." But regardless. Alright, I'm gonna send you that random letter, or the letter to fix up your ship and guide you out of the Chlorine Triangle. Brook thanks Luffy and Brook begin talking, and they're pretty good friends. Brook here's the whole long story short thing from Johnny, Yosuke, Zoro, and Frankie, like Fisherman died, or almost died. He gets saved, sent back here, sent us letters. Brook says, "Oh, thank you then. Well, what should we do?" Luffy says, we're gonna head over to have Odie come with us. If you remember the Kami thing, well, that was fixed pretty damn fast. They helped Hachi. Hachi's with them right now and everything. Now they get to have Odie this time. Well, this leads to basically Kami isn't kidnapped because Luffy tells Sanji to keep a close eye on her and stay with her at all times, no matter what. If you want to go somewhere, Kami's going with you. So yeah. Well, yeah. Now, eventually, Luffy he does see an auctioneer trying to sneak up behind Kami and kidnap her, but Sanji already sensed it and kicked the auctioneer on the side of the head. Pretty damn fast, actually, and the auctioneer's unconscious. Sanji already kicked the other guy's face pretty, because the guy still is hunted for his supposed bounty, but not anymore, because Sanji's face is properly, pictured out. I don't know what else to do now. So Luffy, the whole auction happens. Luffy just goes there, and the auction goes on a little bit longer. And when it comes to Rayleigh, Luffy actually buys him. Actually, wait, no. So Luffy actually recommends the Kami thing and just say we're gonna buy Kami, but once we buy her, it's gonna be like a whole thing just scare everyone and free them. Well, not scare everyone, but just free them. Kami kept the plan. They put Kami up for auction. And Carlos I want to buy her. 500 million berries. The stars in total right now have around 300 billion. Not 300 billion. 3 million. No. In total, they have 5 billion berries. And Carlos 500 million berries. He yells, 700 million. I was 800 million. Like 800 million and 1. I was 800 million. No, 850 million. Just 851 million. Eventually, they get 1 billion berries. So I was get some here. 1 billion berries. Everyone thinks the auction's alright, going once, going twice. It says, it's 200, not 200 billion. It says 2 billion. When froze, what? He's upset at Luffy, but didn't bring more than 1 billion berries. So, Luffy ends up winning Kami. But everyone being shocked, Law included. This led to enough shock and quietness for Rayleigh to actually break out. And then everyone immediately just is able to just run out rampant. Law and Kid are that bash actually a bit of celestial dragon. Now, Luffy does end up just looking at Charles. Charles how dare you? And he shot at Luffy. Luffy was able to dodge it, but then Hachi immediately ran straight towards Charles trying to grab the gun away. But immediately, one of the Celestial Dragon's guards would tackle Hachi and reveal his just multiple arms. Now, Hachi is shot by Charles, Charles yells, I got a fishman! He immediately has a very angry expression, saying, and here I hope things would change. He really punched Charles in the face, full force, and he's a lot stronger than he is in canon, so you can imagine how strong this punch is. Charles' face is bent bent multiple directions, and Charles is sent flying through the building. Charles hits the ground and is unconscious. Charles' dad looked at Luffy, but when Charles' dad pulled out his gun, this led to basically Zoro appearing right next to him, cutting the gun in half, and then chopping him side of the neck, knocking him out. And then this leads to basically just not Wapple. Charles' sister weapon to fire at them, but I almost said Chopper, but Usopp who chops her back in the neck and knocks her out. Eventually, Law and Kid walk up. Luffy saying, "You know what you just did? You knocked out celestial dragons. So there's Marines coming. Admirals at that." Vita says, "Alright then, I'm looking forward to it." And looks like Kid and Law saying, "Yeah, you guys seem cool." Law says, I guess so. He's a little confused, and then that's when Kid says, damn right we're cool. Luffy then says, how about this? I have a request. My goal is becoming the king of pirates. It's, well, no, I don't want to become pirates. I want to find Laugh-Tale, the rumored island where One Piece is. By the time we find that, you guys can duke it out and find the One Piece yourself. We're going to leave once we find it. So us all know that's not true. But Kid's like, really? This is leading to an alliance. He says, form an alliance with me, because I have someone who can read poneglyphs. I can read them. And we form an alliance with the admiral, leave you, or be the Yonko, because they'd be in our way. Kid likes Luffy's charisma, and Luffy can read poneglyphs. Even if he kidnaps Robin, he can't beat Luffy. Everyone knows these bounties is 800 million. Not 800 million, it's 200 million. But Luffy punched out one celestial dragon, almost killed one. Almost killed that one celestial dragon he punched out. I almost said 800 million, I don't know why. Luffy's bounty 300 million currently, because of just traveling through the world beating up people. Plus the whole Akuma. By the way, he slaps Perona away, but if Luffy beat another warlord, his bounty is going to be 400 million instead. 400 million, this is bounty. But then punching out the celestial dragon, bounty's going to be 600 million now. Yeah. But yeah. Back to the whole strat thing. So Kid agrees to the alliance. Now Law is like, what do I get out of it? I don't want the One Piece. Not really. I just want to take down a certain someone. Who even says, all right then, how about this? I could take down a certain someone. I can guess who we want to take down. I'll just Arthur and guess. He even says, Doflamingo. Law would say, right on. How do you know? He says, I know a lot of things. All right, but I just want an alliance with you two because we're the strongest of the worst generation. Besides Teach, that actually pretty damn strong. But I just want an alliance. With that, Law agrees, saying, "All right then, if you're so confident, then I'll join up with you." Luffy would fist bump Law, and Luffy says, "Also, my giant reindeer over there, which Chopper saying, he has some decent medical knowledge, so we should actually be able to help each other, or you two should be able to help each other." Law nods, saying, well, I'm one of the best doctors in the world, so I wouldn't get much out of it. Luffy then says, 800 million berries, how about that? Law says, deal. They go outside, and then as they walk out, they see the Marines, and Luffy looks at Kid saying, do you mind using your punk rotten technique? Kid says, I don't know how you know about that, but why not? So Kid uses punk rotten technique, and they get rid of the Marines that fast. Luffy says him and Law are going to save his crew, Law's crew, and the rest of the Kid pirates need to save their energy for the admiral. Eventually, Kid's punk rotten takes down most of the Marines there, the ones that aren't going to run away in fear. And Luffy's actually able to gather every single member of the worst generation, saying only one of them did that, so we all have enough strength to fight the admiral, and he knows a few techniques that can actually face off against an admiral. They take Luffy's word for it because he's the strongest one. People that don't fall for it, they just don't agree with it or think it's possible. It would be just Beige and Apu. Those two leave, the rest of them believe it. And Luffy talks to he ends up talking to Roger, pretty sure that's his name. So pretty sure it's like Roger or Rouge. I'm gonna say Roger. So Luffy and Uge talk, and Luffy mentioned what he did in Skypiea. Uge, oh, thank you, that's cool. But yeah, so Kizaru arrives and sees all the Marines defeated with Kid and his punk rotten technique. Kid goes back to his normal form with all metal around him, and now the fight is about to begin. Kizaru and Sentomaru plus some new Marines arrive. When Luffy sees the other ships, he tells Zoro to take those down with Sanji, and then he says he can handle Sentomaru real quick. Luffy rushes straight at Sentomaru, and Sentomaru tries to use Haki on Luffy, but Luffy, like I said before, he trained using the basics of armament Haki. So, those basics, using the basics of armament Haki, Conquerors, and Observation. So he knows how to use those decently, better than Sentomaru. As soon as Sentomaru misses their attack, Luffy uppercuts Sentomaru in the face, knocking them out. Then Sentomaru's down, and Luffy looks at the ships as Zoro and Sanji already sank them. Zoro cut down 3 of them pretty easily, then Sanji just kicks one of them in half, and that's really it. And then when he used that shockwave from his kick, it destroyed the other one. So Jay-Sensei doesn't really need the other Bluejam to do that. He's just insanely strong regardless. But now Luffy and every single Straw Hats, every single member of the Kid Pirates, every single member of the worst generation begins fighting Kizaru. Minus Apu, Killer, not Killer, no. But Hawkins is participating by the way because he has like a 40% chance of winning, and he's gonna take that 40% chance. But so Beijing, wait, no, it's not like Hawkins. So Hawkins, Apu, Beijing, and Teach one's not fighting against Kizaru. The rest of them are fighting against him. Well, some of them are fighting against the other Marines, while Luffy is just fighting against Kizaru mainly. He's like the main force. Everyone else is just support. Luffy's hockey is pretty good, and Kizaru's submit. For being a Ricky and a pirate, his strength is he's the strongest new pirate he's ever seen. Eventually, Luffy is able to find an opening on Kizaru and punch him right in the face, pushing him falling to the ground. Rayleigh's been watching this, seeing a lot of Roger and Luffy. Luffy holds his sword out on his head, and for a brief moment, Rayleigh thinks he sees Roger. But Kizaru immediately just goes as fast as he can with his light sword, and Luffy thinks he can't really dodge it, he's not fast enough. But Rayleigh is able to intercept it, saying, "Hey kid, you need some help?" Luffy would nod laughing, saying, "Why not?" Luffy immediately goes to your second, over his whole body, and armor hockeys up his fist. Immediately, Rayleigh's able to fend off Kizaru and lead an opening for Luffy. Luffy begins using a Gatling, or Jet Gatling, and he misses a lot of strikes, but if you land right on Kizaru, it would push him back. Eventually, Kizaru is able to stab Light Sword right through Luffy's side, and then, with that, Law uses Room, and then shambles to switch out Luffy and some random Marine, and Kizaru with that and says, this is a good fight, but we need to leave before we have too many casualties. Kizaru picks up his glasses, leaves it to Maru and everyone else, and that concludes the fight. So Sanji comes back saying Luffy with a stab wound, but it's not too, well, it went completely through his body, but, well, not through his stomach, it was through his stomach completely, but, yeah, Luffy takes it like it was nothing. We're gonna go over Ace and Teach. Ace and Teach, well, Teach and Ace both got, developed, because Ace was more developed, because Luffy kind of just sneakily told Ace how to use Delphi before Ace had one, and Ace figured that out later in life, once he realized Luffy was somewhat from the future. And then Teach got beat out of him by Luffy. So they both got stronger in their own right. And when Teach and Ace fought, Ace was slightly above Teach with versatility, while Teach had physical strength on his side. And with that physical strength, he was actually able to pin Ace down at one point. Not to strangle him, but Ace used Fire Fist, shooting it straight through him. But Teach was actually able to just punch Ace out. And Teach eventually passed out through just being tired and injured. And Ace was just straight up knocked out. But at that time, pause real quick. So Kizaru eventually leaves, because, well, no more casualties. We caused them among Marines. But yeah. So Kizaru technically lost because strategic retreat. But Luffy, he was the loser because when he got stabbed, he get saved by Rayleigh. And, well, he's more beat up. Kizaru had a few bruises, but Luffy lets Kizaru hit harder, and he had better hockey than him. But yeah. So back to Whitebeard and Ace, they knocked each other out on the cruise. The crew did Blackbeard's crew tried to take Teach away. When the Marines arrived and took them all in. So they're all on the podium for being arrested. On the podium, but they're all on the list to be arrested. And Teach was not a warlord because he wasn't focused on that right now. He's focused on just training. Yeah. So now eventually, Luffy is taken all the way to. Oh yeah, first say, if you guys are wondering about Kuma wasn't really there. Kizaru said that he'll do it himself, and he was kind of watching from a distance because he did go with regardless. But then we saw that Luffy's fighting Kizaru like that. He noticed that Luffy's speed may actually outmatch his, and Kuma couldn't take the chance. So Luffy's not smacked at Amazon Lily. Yeah. Eventually, Luffy is he's chilling with Rayleigh. And now with that, Luffy is brought all the way over to Ruskaina, because Brook recommends it for training and recovery, because no one ever goes to Ruskaina. They go there, Brooks makes the king of the animals, and yeah. Now, with that, basically, Brook would just be, was always going to give them a tour. Now, eventually, they do ask who Rayleigh is, and Luffy immediately says, Silver's Rayleigh. Rayleigh would ask why Luffy knows that, or how he knows that. Luffy's response is, well, you can contend with an admiral. Not many people can do that, and you're the first thought that comes to my head. Rayleigh just laughs, and then Luffy and Rayleigh keep talking. Eventually, they get a news coup there, because Brook's able to get news coups. He doesn't eat them anymore, because he has a good, decent supply of food there. But, yeah. Now, with that, Luffy basically is like, well, he doesn't read the news and find out that Ace and Blackbeard got captured. So he either thought that either Blackbeard was too strong, or Ace wasn't as strong as he thought. We took the latter, because Ace wasn't strong regardless, and took the latter being Blackbeard being too strong. Here's the paper. Ace, nice. Luffy's already decently healed up, and, well, Luffy, Kid, and Law are still united crews. Plus, like, Jean-Paul, the other guy's name, was on Law's crew now. Well, with that, they are all ready to set sail. And pause real quick. So Luffy knowing he's still allied with the other two crews, plus one of them getting a new member, and Luffy basically being almost at full health, plus not really caring that he's stabbed, he cares more about his brother. Those that Ace end up getting captured. Like some of them knew Ace, not a lot of them, but some of them like met him on Alabasta. I don't know if I said that, but some of them did. And yeah. So first off, the next stop being, well, Marineford. Now, on the way to Marineford, Luffy actually does things like he did realize that they finished a lot of stuff early. Those for instant, actually they should try to Impel Down. Maybe they can intercept him. They agree with this because they say, oh yeah, Ace executed on this day. They're a little bit early, so like let's try Impel Down. So they go to Impel Down, and as they're on the way to Impel Down, they do miss Ace's ship because it took a different route. So as soon as they get to Impel Down, they'd be in like just Luffy, so they're kind of like away from it. And Luffy get assigned jobs. So as soon as Luffy gets into a plan, he says that well, basically Killer and Law are in charge of basically destroying all the ships around. And Zoro can help if he wants. Then says that everyone else actually in charge of taking care of guards, or just, well, freeing some prisoners on Luffy's command. They agree with that. And Kid, Killer, and Zoro, not Kid and Killer, Law, Killer, and Zoro begin their path of destruction throughout the ships. Law is only on part of the destruction job because we can cut things in half. Kid would be on the job if Luffy didn't need him to like, forge keys or find keys with his ability. Now eventually Luffy does go down and they go down and Impel Down. They come across the guard of the other guard, forgot her name, but yeah, she's taken out pretty easily by Nami, and they get on Impel Down. They go down until they come across like Hanya Bull or something. They beat him, like the four like gigantic demon guard or zone users that are awakened, and Chopper instantly jumps up to Monster Point and begins taking them down. Then Sadie, that's the guard. Robin takes her down, and as they continue going down levels, they come across like the same Broke Works members. Mr. 2, Luffy and him, they have the same bond, but he did say, the Marines are already here, they're coming. I'll keep him busy, because he's the only one that escaped from like the custody of everyone else. So he just volunteers to take them away. Luffy thanks him, and then now they're actually friends again. Well, they're better friends now. And then they have Mr. 1 and everyone else. They go down, they keep going down. They get to level 6. They still have the same people with them. Magellan is actually one shot by Luffy this time. Luffy showed up, just jet pistol with Omni Hockey on it and knocked him out. So yeah. Now eventually, by the way, Kid takes the keys from Magellan. They go down and begin freeing prisoners, the same ones that they were freed in Cannon. But Luffy looks at the one certain cell. He approaches it, and he sees two guys inside the cell: Burn D. World and Douglas Bullet. Now Burn D will question who Luffy is and how he broke into Impel Down. Luffy says, and he's allied with the other crews. Because we have a common goal, so we decided to stay teamed up. Now, eventually, what was it? Yeah, so Bullet's like, we need to team up. We used to laugh, saying, oh no, I could have broken in here on my own and defeated everyone. But they came with me regardless. So, I just signed a plane and they did their job. Plus, I'm the one that ended up taking down Magellan. He's got Magellan on his own. Like, impressive. We've got Bullet saying, also you. Also you. So, I need your help. Bullet says, "What do you need my help if you're so strong?" He says, "Well, I'm barely about to be executed at Marineford, and I need someone who knows how to wreck people's shit. It's gonna be fun." He's got Burndy saying, "And you, I know where brother is. So if you break out and help me at Marineford, I'll tell you." Burndy nods, saying, "All right then." So he instantly kicks on the cell door, saying, "All right, then, let's go." They leave and they run out. Now, by the way, Blackbeard already got his guys out of the prison already. That was his first thing he did. But yeah, so eventually Strides plus Burndy and Bullets leave. Well, Strides plus the Impel Down escapees. Buggy was one of them. He was one of them. They all escape, and as they escape, they end up seeing Killer, Law, and Zoro beaten outside. He's a little confused, looks up, seeing a giant ball of smoke coming towards him. Now, he then using the Haki to find Tashigi, Kobe, Hina, all of them. But Luffy told the Sub vs. Conquerors Haki, saying, "Now, Smoker, what makes you think you can take down my right-hand man? Answer me." He jumps up and grabs Smoker by the neck and slams him down. Smoker realized that Luffy is still stronger than him. Then Luffy holds Smoker in the water, saying, "Now, who took him down? Tell me." Smoker laughs, saying, "I did." He says, "All right, then, just wanted to know." He does Smoker on the ground, picks up Zoro, Killer, and Law, saying, "All right, everyone, take him back to your ships. I'll take down everyone here." Kid looks at Hina's crew, saying, "Oh, this is gonna be pretty easy." This leads to Kid jumping in the air, summoning a lot of metal around his arm, and then smacks most of Hina's ships away. That Hina's amazed because he didn't expect Kid to do that. He doesn't make bars all the way up to Kid's arm, but immediately just disperses all the metal. Then he uses the other arm to catch it, and then smacks Hina to the ground. So Kid wins pretty easily, and then Killer's able to get back up and actually stop Tashigi, and ends up headbutting her hard enough to knock her out. While Kobe, Helvo, and Smoker begin fighting Luffy. Zoro eventually gets back up and able to block all of Helvo's attacks and take him down. First, he's able to block Helvo's attacks and then kind of just give a swift elbow to the nose, knocking him out. Then Kobe's Soru can't keep up with Luffy's just sheer speed. Eventually, he's kicked right in the face and knocked out, and then Smoker's arm hockey punch right in the face, being knocked out as well. But now they're on their way to Marineford. Now, right as Strides end up leaving, Ace is being tied up, along with Blackbeard and everyone else. There were so many people that stalls and makes a lot of time. Blackbeard and Shikoro are still coming because, well, not Blackbeard, Whitebeard and Shikoro are still coming because, well, they want to kill Teach themselves, and they want Ace back. That's really it. That's the only reason there is. So then, with that, the Strides can just keep going. That's all I can really say. Now, Luffy does eventually they're all getting, they're all training. Jinbei was still captured, by the way. He was still captured. And, yeah. Now, eventually they do still fall off that giant. Everything goes the same. But as Luffy's falling, he yells to Ace, saying, "Ace, you bastard, how the hell did you let Teach capture you?" And Ace says, "God damn it, it's about time you got here." Ace immediately lets out Burst of Conquerors, freeing himself and jumping down. This shocks Ace actually able to latch onto the chains, and Sengoku and Garp are a little confused, so Ace lets out Burst of Conquerors, freeing himself, and Fire Fist Ace and Sengoku, not Ace, he fire fists off Sengoku and Garp, putting them away. Then jumps down, and is able to Fire Fist himself right over everyone. As soon as Akainu goes to stop him, suddenly a giant quick bubble or quick slash cuts in half Akainu's attack, and Ace lands right on Whitebeard's shoulder. Ace laughs, saying, "All right then, I'll catch you." And Ace does actually catch Luffy by his leg. So yeah. Now eventually Luffy does just keep on chilling, and with Ace, his and Ace just catch up a bit, and they're kind of just talking as a multitude of Marines run at him, just because, yeah. But eventually, Luffy was just fighting all the Marines once him and Ace are done the conversation, and that leaves all the allied crews that Whitebeard brought. So let me check how many he brought. So there's 43 pirate crews plus Whitebeard is 44. Then 3 counting Luffy. 4. So that's 48 crews, because we're counting Buggy's crew. So yeah, so the 48 crews arrive, and they proceed to do. Well, 43 were already there, then 44 arrive, and they proceed to fight. As we begin fighting, they didn't take their actual ships. Like, what they did is basically just, so Beppo sailed the submarine away, and Luffy had actually, he had Nami sail the Straw ship away, because she's only the best navigator, and then Kid ended up having, like, had, like, one of his miscellaneous crew members sail their ship away. So the ships were sailed away by his miscellaneous members, or members that won't do much of the war. What Nami would do a lot is she's a navigator. But now, Luffy begins just fighting everyone else. Luffy just begins fighting everyone, and he's doing pretty well. But eventually, he comes across just like more and more Marines, and gets the Vice Admiral territory. He's fighting them, and Luffy starts losing because they just better hockey. Until this outburst of conquerors, and with that, he does let out this, like, he gets the attention of the 3 admirals: Boa Hancock, Mihawk, Garp, and Sengoku, and the Marines didn't know about conquerors, just all of them. But eventually, as Mihawk's caught off guard, Zoro rushes at him saying, "Hey, here's a rematch." And this leads to basically Mihawk and Zoro fighting, with Zoro using hockey now, brief bits of armament hockey. And as they keep fighting, Zoro isn't doing too good, but he's keeping with Mihawk. And I have to admit, Zoro's attacks were a lot better. And Zoro's even using a black blade, so he doesn't know that the Zoro like got it from someone else, because it's not the blade Zoro was using previously. But yeah, so but eventually Luffy is met by Garp, and it's Luffy and Ace versus Garp. Luffy and Garp clash fists. Luffy's strength is actually pretty impressive with Garp, but Garp is still stronger. But as soon as Garp goes to punch Luffy again, Luffy just yells "Gum Gum Bell," and Armin Hawk hits with his forehead, hitting Garp right in his. Garp sent flying back, but Ace just does fire fist, hitting Garp right in the chest and him flying back. While Blackbeard somehow escaped by bribing a Marine. Not somehow, but he escaped by bribing a Marine. And to that Marine's like, "Alright, where's my money?" Blackbeard kills him. And yeah, so Blackbeard's crew is all free. And this is 49 pirate crews versus the Marines. Well, 1 pirate crew versus the Marines and the pirate there. Now, eventually, after Garp is flown away by Ace, this leads to Ace versus Blackbeard. The rematch, with them actually being a little bit recovered. As they begin fighting, Ace and Blackbeard are actually on equal terms. At this point, because Ace is just driven by rage, but is actually kind of calm in technique. Like, mentally he's angered, but he doesn't show it. So yeah, so Luffy and Garp are fighting. Luffy's losing pretty badly, but he's trying. But now eventually delivers a very swift punch to Garp's gut, like they're interlocked in like fists, I guess, or arms, like holding each other back. They kind of clash into them. They're holding. Luffy's trying to crush Garp's hand, and Garp's trying to crush Luffy's. Eventually, Luffy's able to quickly use something in his hands, get one arm away, and then punch Garp right in the gut, send him flying back, and make him throw up. Garp eventually kind of slumped over, or just kept throwing up. And Luffy's able to run off and keep punching down lots of Marines. They come across Blackbeard and his crew. Now, Luffy immediately jumps in the air, looking at Blackbeard, saying, "Red Hawk," slamming it down on Blackbeard's face, knocking him out. Ace just laughs, saying, "I had that, you know it." But they proceed to drop the rest of Blackbeard's crew, and they win. But now, let's face off against a certain red dog, Akainu. They fight Akainu, they're losing, but Luffy, being one of the best army hockey, actually no, it'd be Marco, Ace, because he's Blackbeard's crew. They've been fighting, and Luffy's able to kind of the distraction in this one, and this leads to basically Ace able to just get the punches in. Now, eventually, Akainu switched back because his nose is broken and his jaw is broken as well. But eventually, Akainu just says that he'll just end this in one blow, and tries to lose the biggest fire fist of his life on them. Well, then suddenly, Kizaru is sent flying right into Akainu, and we see Sanji riding Marco, while Sanji smoking a cigarette, saying, "Oh, come on, Luffy. Come on, Luffy. This is disgraceful." And as soon as Kizaru to get back up, Sanji kicks him right in the face again, and then yells Amaterasu Jambe, which is basically Diablo Jambe, but he replaces Diablo with Amaterasu, because this is like his flames were black because of his hockey. And immediately when immediately when Kizu's kicked in the face, he's flying again, and then she's unconscious. Sanji laughs, saying, due to Marco being so fast, I was able to do that. Luffy, yeah, if you tell someone like Marco, we could have won. Well, you would have won, but still, you helped your brother. That's all I want to tell you. Just team up with Marco or something. But now it's Sanji, Marco, Luffy, and Ace versus Aki Inu. As they've been fighting, eventually, Ace ends up, not Ace, Aki Inu ends up losing. Because it's just Marco, me, I don't know, I said me. Oh, I was reading something, this way. Eventually it's Ace, Marco, Luffy, and Sanji, who all use armor hockey, and, Marco just strongest one. And then, yeah, they're eventually all able to beat Aki Inu. It wasn't easy, but they're all tired. Marco can't even heal himself anymore. Luffy can't even stretch his limbs anymore. He's tired. He has the effect of Gear 4 without even having it anymore. Not anymore, but it doesn't have it right now. He falls over, passed out, and everyone realizes the two admirals are down. Now, Kizu only lost because Marco was fast enough to catch him off guard, and Sanji's kicks are just powerful as hell. So Aki Inu's just down on the ground unconscious, so it's Kizaru, leaving Kuzan being the last conscious admiral. And eventually with that, Sengoku and Whitebeard were fighting, and eventually as they fight, they almost fought to a standstill, but they realize that two admirals are down, but Marco and Ace are down, so it's Luffy. That Sengoku and Whitebeard yell out, stop, and everyone just stops fighting. Sengoku ends up going back down to normal size and says, the Marines lose, we're retreating. Everyone's like, wait, why are we retreating? Why? And that's when Whitebeard yells, you guys can't see why you're losing? You're damn fools and don't deserve to be Marines. Two of your admirals are down and no one's helping them. How do you expect them to get back up and recover if no one's going to help them at all? Remember that two admirals were down, but then Whitebeard says, Sengoku can call this a draw. He picks up Ace and Marco and begins walking to the ship. There was them both on board, and then Zoro picks up Luffy and Sanji. They head back on, and everyone leaves. Buggy going with the Straw Hats who took the Marine ship, and yeah. Eventually, first off, Ace does wake up a bit, and he melts all the ice, freeing all the ships, and they're able to escape. When they escape, Whitebeard does have a coughing fit and isn't doing too well, but this leaves Chopper, Law, Marco teaming up and healing Whitebeard. As we end up helping, Whitebeard isn't he's not dying anymore, but he's just he's a very bad sickness, but they're able to remove the deadly effect of it. It's just permanent and he can't fight anymore. It just ruins his hockey. That's really it. It just cancels out the ability to use hockey, but it doesn't cancel out the ability to use Devil Fruit, so he has that. But he's still pretty weak. But now, as they're sitting away, they see Shanks, and Luffy did wake up, and he's covered in bandages. Luffy looks at Shanks, and Shanks immediately drops his anchor, because they're pretty far away. Kaido just left. So Shanks and Whitebeard both up their ships. Shanks jumps on board, and looks at Luffy, saying, Luffy, you doing alright? Luffy nods, saying, yeah, just a few bruises and burns. He stands up, and out of nowhere, someone would punch Luffy right in the face. Aki Inu yells, we're not done here, Straw Hat, and slams Luffy's head through the board. Now, Aki Inu immediately, when he woke up, ran after the Straw Hats, using a small dinghy, but also Kuzan was able to help him get away, just get farther with a little bit of power, and Kizaru helped. Now, eventually, Aki Inu's pummeling Luffy, when Luffy's able to kick Aki Inu off of him, and he's able to block Aki Inu's punch using his sword. Aki Inu was able to have Kizaru distract Shanks, and he does leave the X mark on Luffy's chest. As soon as he leaves that, Luffy coughs up a little bit of blood, but Luffy then uses his ultimate technique. He blows up his arm using Gear 3rd, and shoots it down using Gear 2nd, mixing Gear 3rd, and sends it to Aki Inu. Aki Inu can make his arm big enough to stop it, so with this hockey infused Gear 3rd plus Gear 2nd, Luffy calls it combined gear, and it slams into Aki Inu, sending Aki Inu flying into Kuzan and Kizaru. And with that, they're sent to flying down, and Luffy's arm deflates, and that she looks like a deflated balloon. Luffy just falls over, saying, oh, dear God, I'm tired. All that allied crews, who's over there, They're going to be treating Luffy as much as they can, plus all the doctors being helping Whitebeard, because Whitebeard was a little concerned, genuinely, because he can't use hockey anymore. And he's got done out of treatment. So all the doctors go to Whitebeard and Luffy, and helping them. But Luffy actually offers a try at Shanks, saying, "Am I strong enough yet?" Shanks says, "You're plenty strong enough, but you're not strong enough to return it." And I tried if you're willing to actually focus on giving me the hat back in a situation like this, you deserve to keep it. You don't need to return it at all, Luffy. He just smiles and crying, saying, "I'm glad I get to keep it." He eventually passes out, and Shanks puts the straw on Luffy's head, and he sees Buggy, who did get free, like I said. Buggy and Luffy talk, not Buggy and Luffy, Buggy and Shanks talk for a bit, and Buggy is only actually being generous because Luffy does still have like that treasure thing. So we still have that, but Luffy gave it to Buggy still. And as Buggy and Shanks keep talking, Buggy only have a light conversation with Shanks because Shanks says actually he begs Buggy genuinely to protect Luffy as much as possible. Shanks even got on one knee saying, "Protect Luffy for me, please." Buggy actually kind of shocked realizing that Shanks cared about the brat that much, and Buggy being Buggy, he doesn't want money for it, but eventually just give up, saying, "Never mind, I'll do it, just leave." Shanks leaves, and Buggy's sending Luffy's guard, sitting by him all night. So eventually, they're able to get to where the Strats were, which was just Rushkaina. They get there, and then they see how the Whitebeard crew sails away. But Brook and the Strats go with them. But Luffy's just in his captain quarters on the Sunny. They're just there. Now eventually they get to Sphinx Island with all the allied crews there, and the Marine's like, "Yeah, no, you do not attack Whitebeard crew or any allied crews that are with them. It's just, we're very weakened right now, we need help." So yeah. Now, eventually, Whitebeard gets healed more, and the Strats are all back to full health after around 1 month. Rayleigh was able to find them and go there, and he talks to Whitebeard for a bit, then talks to Marco and then everyone else, and he has to trust what they're going to do next. Luffy starts training with Rayleigh, the Strats asks about them. He says, "Maybe plans for them to go somewhere." He tells them about their destinations, saying, "Alright, Chopper, you go here, Zoro, you go to the Monkey Kingdom, and everything," and everyone goes to their locations. When Zoro goes to his location, he meets Mihawk there, and sees Perona. And then Luffy says he wants to stop by Amazon Lily, because he saw someone. They by Amazon Lily, and first off, Boba Hancock, she'd see Luffy being, and she was impressed with the Conquerors, and she'd have to admit, he looked kind of handsome. So she allowed Luffy, Rayleigh, and Jinbei in, because Jinbei was with them. And Luffy and Boa talk for a bit. We want to hear the story of Slash Dragons, because didn't know Boa was kidnapped by them, and he wants to hear about them. That's really it. I'm not doing any shipping just yet. But yeah, so everything happens as normal, and not as normal, but they talk for a bit, and then Luffy just trains on Rushkaina with Ace and Rayleigh. Luffy already having armament hockey, Conqueror's observation, and so the same with Ace. They are all able to get a lot stronger, and now we're going to go to the end of the time skip. So Luffy's waiting at the Mary with Frankie. And Kuma did wait there with Frankie, by the way, but yeah. Luffy's second one there. Well, third if you count Kuma, but yeah. So Kuma leaves eventually, then Luffy arrives. They're waiting at the ship. When everyone arrives, Zoro's wearing what he does in Wano. Kind of wears like a black and red outfit, just inspired by Mihawk. And Zoro's still missing that one eye. Luffy just points to Zoro's eye, saying, "Oh, so you still lost it." Zoro says, "Wait, I lost it originally too? Damn it." He's on board, and then he looks at Sanji, who has a few select scars on his body, but Sanji just laughs, saying, "No, that kingdom is something else, Luffy. Also, if I go into that damn kingdom again, I'm gonna kill you. I hate it." He did meet Ivan and everything, and Ivan did offer him a position there, but Sanji said no, and then Luffy forced him to go there. So, yeah. But, yeah. Now, the Strats all know some form of armament hockey and observation. Zoro did awaken his Conquerors on Monkey Kingdom. Due to him already having been used for armament hockey along with Sanji and Luffy, Mihawk taught him a lot, and, well, Zoro, Luffy, and Sanji all have Ryuo already, and Ace has it pretty well as well. Sanji, Sabo, we're gonna go to him right now. Sabo's just been chilling. He read about the news and everything. He's like, "Alright, good, they're both alive." And he's shocked to hear that they took down Admiral alongside other people. But now Strats set sail all the way down to Fisherman Island. We go down there, they all get up each other. Chopper is actually around 5'5" now, being a pretty decently tall guy now. tall guy, just in general. With Hody, Luffy just tells him what they're probably going to do, so they all know what's going to happen. And when Zoro first encounters Hody, he kills him immediately. The war does break out, but this time they handle it pretty damn well. Luffy doesn't need a blood transfer and everything, and Luffy's just cool. So yeah. And now, he saw the prophecy from Charlie, not from Charlie, from Charlie, and does confirm, like, oh yeah, something bad does happen, but it's not me, the world government. He wanted to hurt anyone near me, or anyone that was close to me, and the first stop was Jinbei, who's a fishman, and boom. He did so Charlie about the future, and does that whole thing. So Charlie's like, oh, so yeah, we should be ready for the world government. Luffy would nod, and she's like, alright, cool then. But now, before Luffy leaves, he actually offers Jinbei a place in his crew. Jinbei does, like, ask questions Luffy's motives. Luffy does say, he needs someone like Jinbei to be a good teacher for him. Luffy thinks that Jinbei can teach him the basics of normal karate, and to say that Jinbei probably strengthen Luffy as well. Now, Jinbei actually did want to run Luffy, because Luffy seemed very open about using Jinbei, but also generally being his ally. So with that, Jinbei says, alright then. Now with this, I'm going to actually, well, Big Mom and his crew, Big Mom and her crew were threatening Fish Island, so I'm gonna go fight them. I'm gonna wait for you. I'm gonna wait for you near there. Find an isolated island, then I'm probably there waiting for you. He was running the estimated time, but Luffy just throws him in mushy, saying, just take that. Jinbei nods, and then starts to leave, going to Punk Hazard. The battle of Fleet Admiral still happened, but this time not all of Punk Hazard is as hot or as cold. Sengoku stopped the battle immediately. Sengoku didn't nominate Kyuzan for being Fleet Admiral, and Aki Inu nominated himself, but Sengoku beat the living hell out of him for it. Then they had this battle. So Aki Inu and Kuzan fought each other themselves, but Sengoku and Garp interrupted it, taking them both down. And yeah, the only reason there's not nomination for Fleet Admirals because they chased after Luffy themselves. Kizu was already punished himself, but yeah. Now, Luffy eventually does Luffy does just get set foot on Punk Hazard, and they go through everything. As they go through everything, and everything goes as normal until they get the kids and inside Punk Hazard, but nothing going too well. Now, Kid and Law are both here, and Luffy does recommend you don't attack Shanks, because Shanks is Luffy's ally, so Kid doesn't attack Shanks. But Kid just goes out the world doing his thing. But instead, Kid does lose his arm, but not from Shanks, from Katakuri. Kid and Katakuri fought, and eventually Kid's able to just make fun of Katakuri's mouth. Katakuri just once bit off Kid's arm. But yeah, so Kid kind of reconnected his arm, because Law did give some advice, like, if you lose a limb, that'd be pretty handy. You can just stitch it back together using a needle that you have on hand or something, or be able to connect it using metal. So that's what Kid just does. But yeah, well, Kid still has his arm, but if he disables his Devil Fruit ability on it, it falls off. And Kid is able to keep his arm fresh because he's used ice, and Law did help him eventually. So yeah, Kid's arm can be stitched back on because Law didn't really want to do that. He didn't have time to do it, but then they both eventually forgot about it, so they didn't really do much. But yeah, so Law's still on Punk Hazard. He fights Virgo. Well, first Sanji does, and Virgo's almost beat to death, but Virgo escapes. Sorry about that. Something fell. Virgo was able to escape somehow. And then this leads to, basically, Law fighting him, and Law easily kills him. Now, when Luffy fights Caesar, it's just a quick fire, almost said fire fist. So a quick Red Hawk to the gut, and knocks out Caesar. Now they do take in Caesar and everything. Virgo's dead. Just Law killed him. And Luffy did remember how to shut down every single bit of smoke, so they're able to do that first. They made make sure it can't be released in general. That's why Sanji had to fight Virgo first, because Virgo tried to stop it. But yeah, eventually Law just cuts off Virgo's head, and then they leave. He's able to use the room to remove the hockey, and before Virgo can activate it again, Law cuts off his head, killing him. Now they get to Dressrosa, and then fights occur. Isho's there this time. Oh, almost at this time. Thinking about other what if, but Isho's there. Now Luffy just saved Isho from being just like I'll go over Luffy's bounty. Luffy's bounty actually did reach around 1 billion because he knocked out an admiral. So his bounty is exactly 1 billion. So exactly 1 billion. Kid's bounty is at 800 million. Law's at 700 million. Zoro behind at 600 million. Sanji at 550. So yeah, this is what I wanted to say. Luffy's bounty is at 1 billion already. Because knocked out an admiral, then was able to kick one away from him, and was able to fight him away from the Whitebeard ship, and was considered an ally of Whitebeard, plus punched out Celestial Dragon. So those can combine 1 billion berries. So now Luffy would just, I guess, let's say the fight goes normal until like Zoro versus Pika, or Luffy versus anyone in the arena. He beats them pretty easily. But then Zoro versus Pika. When Zoro fight Pika, Luffy already told Zoro what Pika might do. So when Luffy is able to point out where Pika might be in his body, in China Stone, Zoro basically goes for that, cuts it open, grabs Pika, and beats the living hell out of him until he's unconscious. Then he tells everyone about their fight that they may have and how to win. So we're just Pink, Frankie, who has Armament Hockey now, just uses Armament Hockey and punches him in the gut full force, knocking him out. Like Frankie just used one simple punch and knocked out Senior Pink. But yeah. So now Luffy and Law versus Doflamingo in trouble. Well, we're here over Law versus Isho and Doflamingo. That fight, it was a wash. Versus Law when Isho tried to just summon a meteor, Law just used room and covered the whole island, and Law slashed the air once, and then he made a new ability called Medical Assistance. With that, basically, more imitations of Law appeared, become like clones or shadow clones, and they cut the meteor to pieces using the same move. But then the Law lost room. He was able to remove Isho's effect on gravity, and the meteorite fell in the water. Now Law kept the room up, and the clones of Law can use the same abilities as him. It's just they get destroyed in one hit. So eventually, they've been fighting. Doflamingo is able to cut out most of them, but Law at this point is kind of comparable to time skip Luffy minus gear 4th. That's really it. He has the speed of gear 2nd and the strength of gear. Well, not the strength of gear 3rd, but he has new abilities that can compare to gear 3rd Luffy post time skip. So yeah. So eventually, after Law and Dofi fight, Dofi is panting and tired, so it's Law. He shows a few select cuts on his body, and that's really it. Eventually, Law runs away, and then we go to Jola versus the Strats. Well, Chopper immediately ran at her and rammed her through a door, and then Brooke just stomped on her head, knocking her out. Say, alright then, we're done. They nod, and now next stop, Luffy, Law versus Treble and Doflamingo. Luffy ends up fighting Doflamingo and beating the hell out of him. It's not even funny. But just swift right hook to Doflamingo's face, almost breaks his jaw. And Doflamingo does realize that Luffy has stronger hockey. Luffy does still one-shot Bellamy, by the way. But Bellamy only arrived because Doflamingo summoned him, and when the crew did say Doflamingo's no good for us, Bellamy didn't care and still joined Bellamy. Joined Doflamingo. But his crew left him of their own accord. Bellamy didn't appreciate that, but was actually kind of nervous because he was worried that Doflamingo might kill them. And so Luffy still one-shots him. And Bellamy also worships Luffy because of how high his bounty was and how strong he was in the war. That's why he worships him. But so Luffy fights Doflamingo, and it's a complete wash. Doflamingo isn't winning whatsoever. And Doflamingo does use his awakening ability. Luffy just goes gear 4th, but Snake Man. And uses it with Ryuo, and is abusing Doflamingo again. Eventually Doflamingo's beaten, and Luffy doesn't have any drawback from gear 4th. At least with how fast he used it, so no drawback. No drawback is actually he can't stretch as far. But Law easily beat Treble, and everyone had their fights pretty simple. Now, Luffy did tell Sanji, don't leave, because something bad will happen if you do leave. But they finish up Dressrosa pretty damn fast. Everything goes the same after. Sabo and Luffy did still meet each other, they still talk for a bit. the same conversation just happened. It was just Luffy didn't believe he was dead. Just like, oh, I missed you. So yeah. But now eventually they leave and everything. Now they get all the way over to Zoe. When they get to Zoe, Luffy actually ends up calling Jinbei, saying you should come to Zoe. Here's coordinates. Jinbei's able to get to Zoe, or at least sees where Zoe last was, or Zunisha last was, and able to see him in the distance. So he travels to Zunisha. When he gets there, also Momo is still with them. Right, I mentioned Momo and Kinemon on Punk Hazard. They bring him. Then they still have Kanjiro with them. But Luffy actually does talk to Kinemon about his observation haki, and to say Kinemon. He talks to Kinemon about his observation haki, and to say he senses malicious intent in Kanjiro, and there's he has an ulterior motive. So he's kind of warning Kinemon about Kanjiro's ulterior motive, and Kinemon keeping close eyes on him. And then yeah, now eventually when they get Zunisha with Jinbei, or Jinbei's crew does, everything just they talk for a bit. The Minks are treated by Law and Chopper, and Kid is not kidnapped by Kaido, by the way. With the alliance, he didn't join one at all. He did his own thing. He'd already in an alliance with Luffy and Law to destroy the Yonko, and they're the strongest of the fourth generation, so he's not part of the whole meeting. Notice just Hawkins and Drake. And Apu, I guess, but yeah. So Luffy ends up calling Kid as well, and Kid's like, "Oh yeah, I was near Big Mom's territory, so I'll come to you." So Kid goes there, and it intercepts Jack. Now Kid and Jack fight, and Kid is a lot stronger than he is originally. He's actually able to pummel Jack. Like it's kind of not pummel, but they're like equals. But Kid's a lot faster, so he's able to beat him. And if Jack got up because he was too durable, Killer just stabbed him right through the back, and then just raised his blade up, and that took out Jack. So they win. They go up Zunisha, and they're chilling there. Now they do meet Raizo and everything. And yeah, Kinemon tells Raizo about the ulterior motives of Kanjiro. And Momonosuke does talk to Zunisha for a bit, and he's warned. Momonosuke is warned about Kanjiro's ulterior motive, and to stay away from him. And Momonosuke agrees. Now, next up, Big Mom. Now, when they get to Big Mom, everything goes the same. It's just Sanji's not taken at all. He didn't go for some accord. Luffy just warns him, don't go. As soon as Sanji does, he's gonna marry. He might get married. He wants to leave, but Luffy says, no, she doesn't love you until later. But I don't want those events to happen because it hurt my heart a lot. So yeah. Now this time everyone's in hiding. The same group went to Big Mom territory. It's just Kid and Law tag along. But not Kid and Law. They didn't. Well, let's say Law and the same group went to Wano, but Zoro stayed with Luffy. You know Zoro went. Kinemon, Kanjiro, and Momonosuke went, but they went separate ships. They went with Law's crew, while Kanjiro went with Zoro. And Robin did not tag along because she needs to bring the poneglyph. But Brook tagged along with Zoro instead, alongside Kanjiro, and Chopper went with him as well. Same group went to Wano, it's just Robin stays with them. But then everything goes the same up until, not everything, but some stuff is the same. But it's when they meet the Vinspokes. The Vinspokes, Sanji beats the hell out of Yonji, Niji, and Ichiji pretty damn easily. And he just ridiculously saw them and they wanted to fight, so he beat them up. And then we go on to everything else. Now, Luffy does still fight Katakuri, but we're going to go to that fight because nothing else important happens. Big Mom's kids here on the gang from Luffy. Cracker is just beaten up by Tank Man and Luffy. Luffy's able to just go through them all pretty good and fast, like just a simple jet pistol just does it for him. So we're going to skip all the Katakuri fight because nothing else interesting happens. Luffy and Katakuri are fighting. Katakuri has to admit, Luffy's a lot stronger than him. Luffy's Ryuo, and already has the same observation haki as Katakuri, plus like he can sense emotions. So he can tell the temp behind Katakuri's blows, and was able to talk down Katakuri from fighting. So when Katakuri's talked down, he's already pretty beaten up and tired, and Brule is there, and Katakuri's other bitch sister, who's 12, well, Conquerors knocked her out. But yeah, that's really it. Katakuri's talked down from fighting, Brule lets Luffy out, and Katakuri's other bitch sister is done. All in, Sanji and other starts continue to fight Big Mom, And it's not like it's going too well for what's going on. It's going too well for either side, but it's a decent fight. But eventually, Big Mom's just kind of just tired now, and the wedding cake she just eat it, but that's really it. She doesn't have hunger pangs or anything. But with the strong pirates attacking her, she's kind of they fight to a standstill. And yeah, and eventually Jinbei does help out after evacuating the nearby places, and then they begin fighting again. But Big Mom's actually beaten because fishermen join in. That's really it. Now Beijing did join in as well, but eventually they leave because, well, Big Mom. Before they leave, Luffy actually offers Katakuri a place on his crew, saying Luffy has no intention of being like Big Mom, but just helping the world and making everyone free. And Luffy offers Katakuri this place. Katakuri chuckles, saying, "Well, depending on where you're going, my mom is probably going to follow you. So, how about this? I'm going to go with her, or I'm recommend you go earlier. But tell me where you're going first." Luffy just says Wano, and Katakuri then says, "Alright then, we're going to leave for Wano in about a week. That should give us enough time to get there, and we're about to encounter a few enemies. So I'm going to warn you of King and Queen." He describes them both, and that's when Luffy just says, "Alright then, we'll find a way in." And this is when Katakuri then says, "I'll say I'm going to go scout on my own, and then I'll make it sound like meet me at this place at this time. I'll see if I'm there. If I'm not there, just keep going there day by day. If I'm not going to show up one day, King killed me." Luffy gets everything in order, and him, the Straw Hats, Kid Pirates, and Fishman Pirates leave towards Wano. Billy had heard Katakuri's plan as she asked if he insists on betraying Mama, and Katakuri says, "Mama's not a good person, she's a tyrant, and he can't stand it." So he's going to go side with the Straw Hats. So Ninja Pirate Monk Alliance is going on. Not Mink Alliance. But Pedro did not kill himself in this one. Sorry about that, it's my phone charging, but Pedro didn't kill himself in this one. This actually led to Brook taking down on Tamago himself, and the Poneglyphs were red. Brook and Wano. So yeah, let's say Tamago is taking down someone else besides Pedro. But they read the Poneglyph, and yeah, that's Wano Kuni. As they go to Wano Kuni, yeah, they should take a different way in, and take their way in. They do encounter like some miscellaneous pirates from Beast Pirates, but Luffy takes them down himself, and they're done. Now they dock their ship, as we go about living their supposed quote-unquote normal lives. Usopp is in Wano as well, by the way. But, I'm going to pause this part here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment for another part. Goodbye.